plus up to an extra $1,000 off select innovative appliances like GE Profile. Add a touch of ease to your holiday with the all-in-one combo to wash and dry your laundry in one machine. And refrigerators with built-in convenient features like the dual dispense autofill water pitcher. Shop Black Friday savings on select GE Profile appliances, plus get free delivery now at the Home Depot. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $396 or more. Offer valid 11/5 through 12/3. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Are you ready to sell your home? Call Dave Beach. He makes sure his clients receive the very best in service. Dave Beach at RE/MAX Community is your trusted local expert. Fast closings, top offers, and service just like your family. 609-685-4942. Online at soldbydavebeach.com.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They got him again!
Sixers.
Bang! It's good! Ball game!
And Flyers.
Tipped in front of the net!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally!
This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
We are live, and I have no idea how I'm here. Josh Hennig hanging out with Alex Berardis here on 97.3 ESPN. A little late start to the show, but we are here. We are live. We are in your life. Streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. Alex, first of all, thank you, because I would not be sitting here going through it. So thank you.
I had to play a little superhero there for a bit, but yeah, we're here. Getting ready for a great show.
Yes, it's going to be a good show. We got a lot going on today here on Hanging with Hennig. Let's give you a rundown real quick before we dive in, because I got a lot of things I want to get to today about the Philadelphia Eagles, about some college football, and some other items here on 97.3 ESPN. All right, so coming up in less than 25 minutes from now, the one and only Mikey V. You might have seen that there was an exclusive video on my YouTube channel at Josh Hennig. Well, at Josh Hennig, you saw the full interview initially on YouTube. We will have the interview here on the radio. We talk college football, the college football playoff rankings with Mikey V at Bear Down Cuz on Instagram. Alex, give the full plug, because I can't remember every single thing he's on, because he's on so many things.
Yeah, he's pretty much just Bear Down Cuz on everything. He's part of the Brilliantly Dumb show with Bob Does Sports, if you are familiar with him.
Yep.
Pretty famous on, all platforms. But yeah, we had a 15, 20-minute great conversation with him about the landscape of college football and everything. And honestly, if you're a college football fan, this little interview we had was everything you could ask for. We talked about so much.
Yeah, so we got him coming up in less than 25 minutes from now. At 1 o'clock, we will hear from Larry Goldberg from Boxing Insider Promotions. I was at the fights last night. An amazing turnout for all the local fighters. All the local fighters won last night, which is even better as well. Obviously, the homecoming of Holy Spirit High School graduate Josh Popper. That was a good moment. Justin Figueroa dominated last night in his fight. Mr. Atlantic City, Justin Figueroa. The young Leah Lewandowski, she and Bruce Seldon Jr., I thought actually they didn't dominate their fights, but I think even more importantly, they endured and they showed some resilience last night. So I thought that was great wins for both of them. And then Julio Sanchez, the third, a dominant victory for him as the final fight of the night. But what the bigger deal, Alex, today is we're talking with Larry because he has his annual amateur boxing event tomorrow at Tropicana, which helps out and raises money for the Atlantic City PAL. So we're looking forward to having Larry come on to promote that at 1 o'clock. Or it's 1:25. Andy McNamara for Fantasy Football. Get your calls and comments in, fantasy football questions. NFL Week 10 we are in the middle of. And then coming up at 2:25, we'll get deeper into the NFL. Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press will join us. His perspective on the Eagles, not one, not two, but three trades before the deadline. Are the Eagles the winners of the trade deadline? And that's where we're going to start right here, Alex. Alex Berardis joining me here in the 97.3 ESPN studios, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. I ask you, Alex, On a scale of 1 to 5, how impressed are you with what the Philadelphia Eagles did before the trade deadline?
I'm going to go with like a 4.5. We got very solid players, Jalen Phillips, Michael Carter, and who's the other player we got? Slipping my mind.
Jalen Phillips, Michael Carter, a second, by the way, which is not confusing at all because Michael Carter Williams used to be in Philadelphia.
That's just the whole thing itself.
Poor Billy made the same mistake everyone else has made, which is that everyone keeps calling him Michael Carter Williams.
Yeah, that's going to be getting used to getting over. But
yeah, the third guy was the Jair Alexander.
Yeah, that
from the Ravens.
Yeah, mainly because of how much we gave up. Like a lot of it was just just kind of 7th round, 6th round picks here, a little player swap with John Mechie. All right, well, we gave up a 3rd round pick for Jalen Phillips, but Jalen Phillips can be a real game breaker on this defensive line, especially, if you get Nolan Smith coming back, which he was a full participant in practice this week. Jalen Carter gets some more rest under him, let him heal up a little bit. Jordan Davis being a dog, and then BG coming back. Like Jalen Phillips can be, just a wreck on that side on the DN, and Howie's just done it again. He just anytime a GM sees Howie Roseman's phone popping up, just don't answer the phone. Like, you're just going to get worked 10 times out of 10.
Well, what I don't understand is how is Howie Roseman so willing to admit when he makes a mistake, but other GMs are not? You know what I mean? Like, you would think, I feel like the only other GM in Philadelphia who would ever admit that he made a mistake is Danny Briere.
Well, I think it's because, he knows the city that he's in. Mm-hmm. And he knows if not, he's going to get called out on it. But also, there was a time period where Howie was not that great of a GM. He had to take a step back. He had to reevaluate.
Well, I will say that narrative about Howie Roseman has always been a little bit skewed because of the fact that
his draft process, I think, was just
So I want to take you a little further back than that because you mentioned about what he was before, right? So for those who don't remember the full Howie Roseman story, which I should probably write the untold for Netflix. Netflix, if you're listening, I am available to write. I'm sure I cost less money than some of these Hollywood writers who went on strike 2 years ago, but I digress. So the way it works is that Howie was hired as an intern over 25 years ago by the Eagles. And when he came to Philadelphia, he worked his way up the ladder, right? He was very, very low levels. And over time, because of his law background, for those who don't know, Howie Roseman went to law school. So he's more than just a numbers guy. He's actually a legalese guy. That's why he's so good with these contracts.
See, I saw a pathway for myself there, and then you said law school, and then I was like, all right, well, I didn't do that, so I'm just going to stick to radio.
Well, I mean, listen, if you want to leave me behind and go work for the Eagles, I'm not going to hold it against you.
Hey, I'll save a spot open right next to me, right for you, Josh.
Thanks. But back to what I was saying. So Howie worked his way up. And then when Joe Banner left for the Cleveland Browns, which in and of itself is hilarious when you look back at it, Howie became the GM. He worked with Andy Reid. Howie Roseman is the reason why the Eagles had Brandon Graham. Howie was the one who said, we got to draft this guy. Howie personally went and scouted out Brandon Graham. Howie was the one who, him and Andy Reid pushed for them to draft Fletcher Cox. So you look at Howie, not all of his draft moves are as bad as people make it out to be. And by the way, the first year Chip Kelly, Jeffrey Lurie, the Eagles owner, came out and said, we are going off of Howie Roseman's draft board. The owner of the team said that. So that goes to show you that the organization has had success with him because you know who was the first round pick in the 2013 NFL draft for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Fletcher Cox.
Fletcher Cox was a different year.
Lane Johnson.
Correct.
That was my go-to answer, and I don't know why I stayed away from that.
And don't forget, Chip Kelly wanted Deion Jordan, who ended up being a super huge bust in the NFL.
And that's why he's not in Philadelphia anymore.
But that's also what happened to Howie. Howie got pushed to the back room. Remember Jason Kelce got put in a broom closet? But, Howie has talked about this. He needed to be pushed out for him to get better, for him to learn, for him to grow. And you would not have a future Hall of Fame executive in Howie Roseman if he didn't go through the trials and tribulations, right? But people didn't like Howie Roseman because he doesn't look like a football guy. He doesn't sound like a football guy. He sounds like a, he sounds like a dweeb. You know what I mean? He sounds like a caricature from a movie or something. And it's not Howie's fault. It's just, it is what it is, right? And so now years later, after winning 2 Super Bowl championships, getting to another one, we almost expect him to do this stuff, right, Alex?
Yeah, and then you see him at the Super Bowl parade, cuts on his forehead, cigar in his mouth.
I bleed for this city.
Yeah, that's the guy I want running my football team. Yeah, anything Howie does, I'm in full belief of just in Howie we trust, and he knows what's going to get this team on the right path, what's going to get this team another championship.
You guys can text in what you guys think as well, 609-403-0973. Of course, we are live on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig. I think that I agree with you that the Jalen Phillips move is going to be great. I think the Michael Carter move is going to be good too, because of the fact that, Howie Roseman referred to him as an elite cover guy. And I don't think it's a coincidence that everyone the Eagles acquired, Alex, all have connections to guys in the building. Michael Carter II was drafted by Joe Douglas, who now is back with the Eagles in a advisory capacity for Howie Roseman. Jalen Phillips was coached by Vic Fangio. The best year of Jalen Phillips' career in Miami was the 1 year Fangio was there. And even Phillips came out and said he's happy to be here. He loves playing for Fangio, which is hilarious because remember all the other Dolphins defensive players cursed the ground that Fangio walked on, was like celebrating when he got left town for Philadelphia. And now Fangio's got the last laugh. So bleep them down in Miami. And then the third guy, Jair Alexander, when Jair Alexander, easy for me to say, was a all-pro corner, his defensive backs coach in Green Bay is the current D-backs coach in Philadelphia, Christian Parker. So the Eagles literally went out and got 3 guys who people in the building, Alex, could vouch for. That goes to show you another level here. Like, this is where, to your point, where, like, why do people answer Howie Roseman's call, right? It's the idea of how he's playing chess and everyone else playing backgammon.
I don't even know what that game is, but sure, yeah, I get the sentiment of that message, but I do have
You're
to say
probably better off not knowing what backgammon is, to be honest.
I think with all 3 players that are coming in, though, there is a bit of risk with all of them. Jalen Phillips has had injury history, had an Achilles problem a few years ago.
Right.
Michael Carter, I think he's more of just a depth piece. Like, if that's what was so effective for the team last year, was that we had depth all across the roster. This year, obviously, you can see, like, it's just not as deep as it was last year. And then with Jair Alexander, I mean, I think the Alexander thing with him being a healthy scratch, a health bomb for 5 games this year, I just think that Baltimore Ravens defense just was not good. And I think there was just something off in that chemistry-wise. And I don't know. I'm not really putting that much stock into it, but it is something you have to consider when, hey, this guy was a, Pro Bowl caliber cornerback for many years in Green Bay. And then the 1 year he leaves there, the guy's getting health scratch, 5 games. I don't know. I think there's something fishy there, but I mean, he can just be another death piece, of course, but he's got to be better than Keely Ringo, honestly, right?
Well, I don't know if he's better than Keely Ringo, but here is what Howie Roseman said this week about the acquiring of Jair Alexander. I'm going to get his name right at some point. Josh Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. I will not fall victim to the Phillyism of mispronouncing names because I can still say Halapuli Vati Vaitai. All right? Here is Howie Roseman, the Eagles GM, talking about the acquisition of Jair Alexander.
The relationship we have with Baltimore and being able to have honest conversations and understanding what he went through a little bit in training camp and getting back to health. Obviously missed a lot of time last year and then just really doing a deep dive on him and how successful he's been, what we thought of him last year, when we were in Brazil playing them and then for the first part of the year and then having CP who's with him and getting to know the mindset of the player. And so I think when you talk about still a young guy, knowing where his health is at now, feeling healthy, feeling good, we felt like the risk was worth the reward with him.
Howie Roseman, that was him a couple days ago when he had that press conference. It doesn't sound like they acquired a guy who's washed up, Alex. Sounds like a guy that maybe just didn't fit in Baltimore. Maybe it just wasn't the right fit. And he talked about how they gathered information from Baltimore about him. And it's almost like Howie called Baltimore, Alex, and said, I need you guys to be honest with me about this guy. He's like, I'm willing to trade for him. I'm willing to take him off your hands. can you be honest with me about the guy? And it sounds to me, the more and more I've heard and read, that he just wasn't a good fit in Baltimore.
See, I think the last sentence in that clip where he said the risk was worth the reward is the whole key to this whole entire trade deadline. This team, as constructed before the deadline even happened, before we brought in Phillips, Alexander, Carter, they could probably have won the Super Bowl anyway. Maybe not won it, but in contention, probably going to the NFC Championship game, could win, go to the Super Bowl. And with what they gave up, they got nothing but better. You didn't get worse. You didn't give up anybody who was a starter on this team. Yeah, sure, John Mechie, but what was he, a fifth?
He wasn't a starter.
Yeah, he was a fifth receiver on the depth chart. So he just made this team better without really giving up anything. So that's why I like that, what he said with the whole risk was worth the reward, because every deal, low risk, high reward.
And by the way, I wish more GMs would do that. I wish some pompous schmuck named Dave Dombrowski would do some of those kind of moves. I wish Daryl Morey. I will say this. Daryl Morey gets a lot of flack in this town.
He at least makes an attempt.
He does a great job at drafting.
True.
He has drafted Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, VJ Edgecombe, Adem Bona. He's drafting guys. He's getting that right. It's just the free agent and trades are not always the right moves. I mean, do you consider Quentin Grimes the right move at this point?
Yeah. Yeah, no, he gives you 20 off the bench. I mean, that's you would dream of that.
Right. So to me, I don't think back it up. I don't think Daryl Morey is as bad as people paint him out to be at times. I think he makes mistakes, but I think that basically no one is as good as Howie Roseman in the city of Philadelphia. And because of that, you're creating an environment where unless these other people win a championship, okay, unless Dave Dombrowski, Daryl Morey, Danny Briere win a championship in the city of Philadelphia as executives, Howie Roseman will always still be the apex predator when it comes to the executives in the city of Philadelphia.
Well, with the Daryl Morey situation, would you prefer a guy who just takes the swings but misses majority of the time, or a guy who just stands at the plate and just doesn't take a swing at all?
Can I use option C, which is stop only hiring old people?
I'll allow that. Yeah, I'll allow that.
No offense, but I think Kyle Lowry needs to go on the Billy Schwein weight loss plan, because while Billy lost 15 pounds for his knee surgery, I think he gave it all to Kyle Lowry. I mean, Kyle Lowry looks fluffy.
Yeah, but Kyle Lowry's there as a Udonis Haslam role, which I love. I've been on air saying it. Every good team needs that kind of role. And that's exactly what Lowry's doing right now, especially for guys like McCain and Edgecombe. That's what he needs to do. He doesn't need to be on the floor. Hell, Eric Gordon's getting reps right now. He's getting tick on the floor right now. Kyle Lowry just needs to be on the bench, hyping these guys up, teaching them how to be a pro.
Back to the Eagles.
Yeah,
Alex Berardis hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. We'll get more Sixers conversation a little bit later in the show. You and I were having a good conversation about the Phillies before we walked in here, so we'll repurpose that coming up as well on the show. Before we get to Mikey V in our conversation with him with college football in full swing, week 11 today, I did want to say another point about the Eagles and their acquisitions, because I mentioned with the Michael Carter point. I want folks to listen to again about what Howie Roseman said, because he was asked about why they acquired not one but two defensive backs before the deadline. And I want you to listen to how Howie verbalizes this. And to me, this is another example of why the Eagles are better than almost every NFL franchise.
What we're really trying to do is we're trying to be able to match up with all kinds of shapes and sizes at the wide receiver position in the secondary. When you have guys who can do that, it just gives you so much flexibility. When you're going to play different teams and the different types of receivers they have, the different types of tight ends, even backs coming out of the backfield.
So that's Howie Roseman basically making it sound like this is going to be a matchup situation. They're going to play guys based on matchups. They're going to say, hey, you got a bunch of great wide receivers, we're going to match up with you one way. You got a bunch of great tight ends, we're going to match up with you another way. That's why I think when they're going to Green Bay this Sunday, Alex, I don't think you're going to see some of the formations that you saw before the bye week. I think they're going to say, hey, Green Bay lost their best guy for the year, Tucker Kraft. We don't have to worry about the tight end position. We can let anyone cover Musgrave, okay? No offense to Musgrave. I know he's an NFL player, but he is nowhere as good as Tucker Kraft. What they're saying is they got a bunch of solid to good receivers. Romeo Dobbs. They got, I think Matthew Golden is going to be cleared to play on Monday Night Football. They have a bunch of different guys who are good, but they're not great, Alex. So I feel like they're going to say, you know what? For this game, we'll go dime. And for another game, we'll go heavy in the box. Like, they're going to treat this as, now, of course, you can't forget about Josh Jacobs, right? You got to stop that beast. But Howie Roseman talked about it. They're going to play matchups. They're acquiring guys who give them maximum flexibility.
This trade deadline actually couldn't have come at a more perfect week for the Eagles. One, it was the bye week, yeah, too. But, yeah, we have the Packers coming up, and they're a team, like as you said, a bunch of just good receivers. They're a team that wins by committee at the receiving position. They're not going to have that 1,500-yard receiver. No, they're going to have a bunch of like 800, 900-yard receivers, which is exactly what this trade deadline was built for, just depth at the corner position. Also, as I was listening to that clip, that just proves that how much better of an organization the Philadelphia Eagles are as opposed to an organization like the New York Jets. The New York Jets ownership and management group taking shots at their starting quarterback, taking shots at the locker room. They have Brees Hall, driving a little race car in the locker room like that. All they do is call out their own players. Howie Roseman called out his team without calling out his team there. He basically was saying without saying, hey, I get it. The secondary is not that great, but I'm not throwing any of my guys under the bus right now. I'm gonna give a good professional answer about this, and I'm gonna make this team closer than dividing them apart. And that just proves what a grade A organization this team is.
George from Summers Point chimes in on the text board at 609-403-0973. George chimes in and says, to your guys' point about Howie being willing to admit his mistakes is definitely what makes him far and away the best GM in the city. He has been in of any of the sports teams because he does not have an inflated opinion of himself, says George Summers Point. Howie is better able to see through than other GMs when he's assembling a team. I hope he stays with the Eagles for a very, very long time. Happy to hear you guys on a sunny Saturday, George in Summers Point. But George Summers Point, we always appreciate you chiming in. That's a great point, Alex. He says, Howie does not have an inflated opinion of himself. Like, I feel like every interview I see Howie in, he's self-deprecating. Every single interview, whether on Bussin' with the Boys, he's on with Todd McShay, he's on with Rich Eisen, he's on whatever show, whatever podcast, whatever interview, he's always self-deprecating. Like, he does not think he is the you-know-what.
Like I said, though, he knows the city he's in because he knows if he started coming off like that, like Nick Sirianni has that problem a little bit where half the fan base says they hate that about him. And now if you have, your head coach and then your general manager both having that same WWE-esque personality, it just doesn't mesh well, I don't think. How he knows his role, he knows what he's doing. He's God in Philadelphia.
Is that why you're wearing that shirt today?
Yeah, my John Cena shirt. The shirt I got at SummerSlam. That was a great event.
By the way, I still believe to a very, very unaffiliated conversation that John Cena's opponent is going to be someone they're putting over for 2026.
See, I had this idea that he beats Dom Mysterio for the IC title at Survivor Series, but they're not going to go down that road anymore. Maybe on a Monday Night Raw in Madison Square Garden, and then Sheamus beats him, so then Sheamus can become the Grand Slam champion as John Cena was just the Grand Slam champion, and it was a callback to their 2009 feud, 2009-2010 feud.
Well, that kind of leans to what I just said, which is that they want to have someone beat Cena to put them over leading into next year.
It's going to be Gunther, though. We all just know that.
Well, the thing is, remember, they have the one guy they want to announce. They said it last night.
If it's Edge, I'll lose my marbles.
Dude, if it's Edge, I will be so excited. Like, I'll jump through the roof. Edge is one of the rated R superstar, one of my favorites all time. And by the way, Aaron Copeland, one of the nicest human beings in the world, too.
He's my favorite of all time. I would pay the $400 for nosebleeds. Nikki Nosebleed sitting behind me. I would pay the $400 to go down to Washington, D.C. and watch that match.
He's Alex Berardis. I'm Josh Hennig. Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Coming up on the other side, Mikey V. He will join us to get more into the college football slate. who are the best teams, who are the good, who are the bad, who are the frauds coming off of the college football playoffs first rankings. And I want to let everybody know, my newest sponsor here for Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, Prevail Nutrition, has been meal prepping for busy people here in South Jersey for almost a decade. They offer tons of great food options, whether you're someone who's looking for keto options, you're looking for low-fat options, whatever healthy meals. Let's be realistic. You don't have time to make food every day. You have a busy life. So be like me. Go to prevailnutrition.club. That's prevailnutrition.club to order your meals. Of course, they make and deliver the food every Monday and Friday. They deliver to Atlantic County, Cumberland County, and Ocean City, or you can pick it up from their location in Galloway. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can make your life easier. Be like me. prevailnutrition.club, because when you're busy like I am, you need a little help when it comes to your food each and every week. Coming up on the other side, Mikey V gives us his perspective on the college football playoff first rankings. He's Alex Berardis. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM and streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
Eagles football on 97.3 ESPN. The Eagles continue the 2025 season on Monday Night Football, heading to Lambeau Field to face the Green Bay Packers.
Love lines them up. Back goes Love. He's looking. He has time. He fires, and it's intercepted by Bourne.
Pre-game coverage starts at 7 p.m. with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick calling all the action starting at 8:15. This is where the Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN.
This football season, catch every game at the best sports bar in South Jersey. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora features every Eagles game with the sound on, along with the biggest college football games on their TVs every Saturday. Don't miss out on yesterday's nightly food special starting at 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, along with reverse happy hour specials 9 p.m. to close each week. Plus, with the Flyers and Sixers season starting up, the place to be to watch the game is yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. So call your friends and catch all the games at the Y.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
Winter is approaching. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Calvi Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to experts for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Calvi Electric, the premier electrical contractor, serving South Jersey for over 115 years. Visit calvielectric.com today and stay ahead of any storm.
Bush, the iconic band. One night, all their classics. Featuring songs from their hot new album, I Beat Loneliness, as well as all of the fan favorites. Saturday, December 13th, Ovation Hall in Ocean Casino Resort. Special guest, Soul Asylum. Bush. Tickets on sale now at theoceanac.com. Don't miss Bush. Live.
Black Friday savings are here at the Home Depot, which means it's time to add new cordless power to your collection. Right now, when you buy a select battery kit from one of our top brands like Ryobi or Milwaukee, you'll get a select tool from that same brand for free. Click into one of our best deals of the season and stock up on tools for all your upcoming projects. Get Black Friday savings happening now at the Home Depot. Limit 1 per transaction. Exclusions apply. Full eligible tool list in-store and online.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Gill from the Sports Bash. You know, I've been telling you about my friends over at the Nizam's Restaurant. Well, don't forget, their Eagles special is back. You get a free order of spicy tandoori chicken wings for dine-in customers when the Eagles win. They also have a great lunch buffet on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and has a great banquet space that can seat up to 100 people for private events and celebrations. So what are you waiting for? Try out the Nizam's in Harbor Square, Egg Harbor Township, right outside of Boscov's.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Imagine being the wizard of your own home. With Xfinity, intelligent self-healing Wi-Fi fixes problems like magic. It boostifies speeds to your devices when you need it most, and makes your favorite Wicked content sparklify on every screen. All while a spell of protection helps keep your family safe online. When you're out in Oz, Xfinity Mobile joins Wi-Fi and 5G to keep your phone connected from here to the Emerald City. If you had the most intelligent Wi-Fi from Xfinity, everything would work together for good. And now you can cast a spell to stop time and keep your internet bill steady for 5 whole years with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. No contracts or commitments with amazifying equipment included. Xfinity, imagine that. And see Wicked for good, only in theaters November 21st. Restrictions apply. Select plans only. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet.
Get ready to level up your game day at Tropicana Atlantic City. Introducing Gridiron Pit, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, a high-energy fan zone where blackjack meets big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, indulge in tailgate-inspired food and drinks, and spin the big wheel of prizes every Saturday and Sunday throughout football season. Gridiron Pit, where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table. Located near the cashier cage. Learn more at Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
You blitz all night!
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here, hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Of course, alongside Alex Berardis, live in the 97.3 ESPN studios. And to get more into the college football, I can't believe it's already November, but still, we got to get into the college football playoff. Finally dropped. The playoff committee is done talking. They're finally ready to pontificate to us about how much smarter than they are to us, even though they're not. Mikey V joins us from the brilliantly dumb show at Bear Down Cuz, joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. Mikey, how you doing today?
Feels great to take a trip down the old Garden State Parkway and visit my friends in the Southland. I can tell you that. You know, I'm a North Jersey guy. You know, so I don't like to venture south of 120 on the Parkway often, guys. Okay, but I'm here for you. And I'm excited to talk about the CFP ranking that, frankly, I think they were pretty spot on. I got to be honest. First drop of the playoff rankings.
Yeah, I certainly don't hate it. And I wanted to start with, I don't want to start at the top, though. I want to move a little bit down a little further, because we'll get to plenty of Ohio State talk in a bit.
Sure.
But, you have a lineup where 3, 4, 5, 6, all SEC schools. And I got to tell you, my biggest gripe, I don't like gripes, my biggest gripe with the list right now, I feel like Texas A&M is too high. How do you feel about Texas A&M being at 3?
I got to tell you right now, I don't mind it at all. I think Texas A&M, look, that first of all, they went into South Bend and took that game. Now, granted, Notre Dame should have won that football game. I don't think anybody would dispute Notre Dame should have won that football game. They shot themselves in the foot a couple times. But what I have seen from Texas A&M, Marcel Reed in particular, what they did when they went into Death Valley, I thought that was a big game for them on a big platform, on a big stage. Anytime you could go into Death Valley at night on the primetime game, regardless of how LSU looks this year, and God knows they look terrible. They got rid of Brian Kelly. Grant Nussmeier, not himself. I don't believe he's fully healthy. I believe he's been dinged up most of the season, and that's why his performance has dipped so much. You're not seeing that typical LSU explosiveness. But I am not against where A&M is right now in the ranking until they drop a game. I'm perfectly fine with where A&M is in the 3-hole. I have no issues with it. In fact, I do think that they're between them and Alabama. That's why I say Alabama sitting at 4. That to me is the right call. The 1-2 punch in the SEC right now, gun to my head, I'm taking Bama and I'm taking A&M. So no issues with A&M at 3 for me.
So if I could backtrack something you said about the Notre Dame game, and that is, for you, so you're looking at it as less about is Texas A&M the best team, and you're more looking at it as they have like the resume that you like. Is that a fair assessment?
I like the resume. I think that Reed is a dynamic enough of a player where he presents the types of fits in college football that you look for as an offensive coordinator and as a defensive coordinator. When you're planning to play a team like that, you hate doing it because of how athletic he is and because of the problems he can present to your defense. I also happen to think Mike Elko is a hell of a coach. I really like Mike Elko, and I think that he has built a program there. Also, I think people should remember, this team is not like some... It happened out of nowhere. They spent a lot of money in NIL. They have a lot of money to build that program up. So this is a team with a ton of talent, brimming with talent. So again, I say that. And yes, of course, I do think resume counts for a lot. And being in the SEC, having the undefeated record, having the road win against LSU, against Notre Dame, I mean, they're a talented team. Now, they still got to finish it out. And the SEC schedule, and that's the thing about playing the SEC, it never gets easier. Every week it seems like it gets more and more difficult, just as Vanderbilt. I mean, that's a team that they can't catch a break because the schedule just never, ever lightens up. You go from playing at Bama to playing at Texas to playing Missouri. I mean, it's crazy. So, but again, again, no issue from me with where A&M is in the first one.
Well, we'll get to Texas in a minute because that's the game that Texas A&M finishes the season with.
Yeah.
And I got to ask you something with Texas. We'll get to that in a second because you mentioned the SEC as a whole. When you look at the SEC, like I feel like sometimes these conferences they can cannibalize each other at times, but I feel that the SEC hasn't been as intense as maybe like a Big 12 this year. Like it almost seems like you mentioned about how Alabama, Texas A&M, like they're the two-headed monster at the top, but yeah. I got to tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if a team like Georgia and Ole Miss, who are currently 5 and 6 in the CFP rankings, like if you were to tell me that one of those teams made a run in the CFP, I wouldn't necessarily be shocked, right?
No, not at all. I mean, look, Ole Miss is right there. Ole Miss is right there. They're 5-1 in the conference, 8-1 in overall. Same thing with Georgia, 7-1 overall, 5-1 in the conference. But when I look at Georgia right now, Georgia is not the Georgia that like a couple years ago where you're petrified to play them. Gunnar Stockton, they don't impose that fear into me that the Georgias of the 21, 22, that era of Georgia, even 23, did. Ole Miss is a wild card for me. Trinidad Chambliss, since he's come in and ran the ship there at quarterback, I think what they've done is pretty remarkable. I have to be honest. I think what Ole Miss has done and what Lane Kiffin has done, and is he going to stay there? Is he going to take the job at Florida? I think what they have done is pretty remarkable. But I don't disagree with you, Josh, where you're saying that it does, like in the past, it cannibalizes itself. But these teams have holes. Like Vanderbilt, as much as I like them, they have holes. Tennessee, their defense is a leaky ship, to put it the best way.
It's bad. Just say it's bad, okay?
It's bad. Oklahoma, Venables at times, I can't figure Venables out. And I think if you pressure Mateer enough and you make him have to throw and not use his legs, you take his legs away, I think that's a different team when you play them. I think all of them have their weaknesses. Texas, as you mentioned, if you're going to get into that, I kind of think Texas could be that team more so, perhaps, than Ole Miss and Georgia to make that little late run because of the way Arch Manning has looked lately and because of that Longhorn defense, which has been the best defense, I think, one of the best in the SEC.
By the way, when I interviewed Gina Toretta a couple weeks ago, he said Trinidad Chambliss is his favorite SEC quarterback. So that kind of gives you an idea of quarterback talking about another quarterback, speaking that highly of him, kind of gives you an idea. Like, listen, I have Gino on each year here on 97.3 ESPN as a part of Touchdown Radio Network, and I'm telling you right now, he didn't speak that highly of Jackson Dart. He's speaking highly about Chambliss.
Yeah, and I mean, that says a lot. I mean, where did Chambliss, where did he come from? Ferris
D2.
State, Division II, Ferris State in Michigan. So he's been a godsend, really, for Ole Miss and what they've been able to do offensively. And Ole Miss could play defense a little bit. Again, I don't think their defense is at the level of the Texas defense, the Oklahoma defense. But they have enough, certainly, I think. And again, he's just doing a great job. And Lane's in his bag right now. I think Lane Kiffin he is in his bag right now, and every button he is pressing is working. Everything Lane Kiffin is doing right now seems to be everything coming up Lane. And that may be also because he's going somewhere else at the end of the year, but we'll have to wait and see about that.
A team you brought up was the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yes.
And, they got an interesting schedule upcoming. This is a team I feel like that could either just shoot up the rankings or just be out completely of the top 25 of the next. They have Alabama this upcoming week, and then Missouri, and then LSU after that. I mean, if Mateer can figure this out, if Brendables, can figure it out and put some stuff together, this could be a dangerous team going into, I don't know about or the SEC championship, but being a college football playoff team, definitely.
Look, at the beginning of the year when Oklahoma was playing, I was probably one of the biggest Oklahoma John Mateer supporters when they beat Auburn, when they beat Michigan. But when Mateer got hurt and he got that surgery done on his hand, I don't see the same thrower of the football that I saw previous to that surgery, period. Even last week, okay? I think Tennessee kind of really... I mean, the game that the Tennessee quarterback had, he threw at least 2 interceptions, really ill-timed. They had that strip 6 play on the sack that completely flipped that game because Tennessee was going in to go up 14-0, and Oklahoma takes the ball away, scores. They played that game right into Oklahoma's hands, letting Mateer run around like that. Tennessee can't kick field goals. Oklahoma has an all-world kicker that could kick 55-yarders like it's nothing. They played right into Oklahoma's hands. I am concerned about Mateer's throwing. I'm concerned about him throwing the ball. But like you said, that was the must win. That game, the Oklahoma-Tennessee game, was such a pivotal game for the SEC for both those teams. So for Oklahoma to go on the road and get that win, it's a massive win. Now, Bama, like you said, Missouri, now that their quarterback got hurt in the Vanderbilt game, Missouri to me, nice story, good defense, but not really a team that concerns me. But Oklahoma, again, they're going to have to beat Alabama. If they don't beat Alabama, I think, could they make the playoff? I don't think so. I think they'd be out if they lose. They have to beat Alabama, and I just cannot see them going into Tuscaloosa and beating that team right now the way Alabama's playing.
We're talking Mikey V from the Brilliantly Dumb Show, of course, on Instagram at Bear Down Cuz, joining us here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. I said I wanted to get back to Texas. I got to ask you because they pulled some chicanery this week, and I would say some harsher words, but we're on the radio because that was some BS.
Yeah.
Oh, Arch Manning's in the concussion protocol all week, and all of a sudden he's starting suddenly. Yeah. So all people were losing their pants this weekend betting on that game. But what is Texas at this point? Because you saw them as an Ohio State guy, like they looked like one animal at the beginning of the year, and then this past weekend, all of a sudden Arch Manning comes back and he suddenly looks efficient.
They're the biggest anomaly in college football to me right now as it stands. Week 1, what I saw what everybody saw. You saw the first week of the season, 2 teams with new starting quarterbacks, because technically, Arch was still behind Quinn Ewers last year. Yes, he got more playing time. Sayin was a true first-time starter. But what I'm saying is you saw them week 1, they're the guy. Everyone knows they're the guy. They take over. Arch Manning did not look right until he got into rhythm in that fourth quarter against Ohio State, and he was making some throws that I saw in person that I said, oh my God, I said, these throws are undefendable. I go, if he could throw like this, no one can defend him. I go, because these are otherworldly type throws. The problem is that they just never seem to be able to get in any kind of a consistent offensive rhythm. And Steve Sarkisian, I'll give him credit, the last couple of weeks has been a little bit better, but in the beginning of the year, it was more of the same. It felt like that Texas team last year that couldn't make any of the right calls down in the red zone. They were ranked 100 and something in the country in red zone efficiency last year. It bit them in the butt in the national semifinal game against Ohio State. It bit them in the butt again against Ohio State in the first week of the regular season this year. But the last couple of weeks, man, I mean, look, it took a miracle for them to come back and beat Mississippi State. And then last week, they were almost the victim of what they perpetrated the week before and almost let Vanderbilt come back and beat them in a game where Vanderbilt shouldn't have been within 2 touchdowns of them. So, and 2 weeks prior, they escaped with an overtime victory against Kentucky, 16-13. So again, Texas's defense, I feel as though is up for the task. I just don't know where the consistency is with this team. You don't know what you're going to get. What you do know you're going to get is probably a great football game, an exciting football game, because it feels like every game that they play, even the Florida game. The only game that was boring, really, was the Oklahoma game. That was the game, the Red River rivalry, where they really controlled the flow of that entire game. Oklahoma really wasn't in it, except in the first half a little bit. So Texas has to figure out where they're going to get that consistency from. Arch looked better last week, but again, like you said, Josh, I just don't know where all of this is coming from, the inconsistency.
And talking about that Red River rivalry game, that was the game that John Mateer came back from that surgery on 17 days' notice.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Drew Brees had that exact same surgery, and it took, over 5 weeks for him to come back from that surgery? So you just don't know.
Yeah, the whole Mateer thing to me feels rushed. It feels rushed, and I get it. I mean, Oklahoma's in the midst of chasing the playoffs, so I get it, and they wanted him back for that game. But again, I think he did come back too early. I think it shows. I mean, he was missing throws in some of these games after coming back that were throws he'd never missed before the surgery happened. I mean, never. He was sailing the ball over guys' heads in that Texas game. So, Texas to me, though. Texas, to me, is the one team that could line up with the talent that they have, right? The talent that Texas has on both sides of the football. They could line up with anybody and probably give them a game, any team in the country. I mean, they did it week 1 against Ohio State. That was Ohio State's closest game, a 1-touchdown game. I do think that that's the team that they could line up against anybody and give them a problem because of Arch Manning and because of the defense.
So right now in the college football landscape, it's going to be one of the craziest coaching carousels we've ever seen. Teams like Penn State, LSU, Florida, Oklahoma State. There's just a crazy amount of open spots right now. And a guy that Josh and I have been mainly talking about for the Penn State position, as everybody knows here, I'm a Penn State graduate.
I am not, by the way.
Yeah. But John Gruden. Josh and I would love Coach Gruden coming into Happy Valley. I just don't really see it happening. I really see the Bills offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, taking that job. Okay. But honestly, where do you see, if Gruden comes back in, or how this coaching carousel is going to play out?
To me, Gruden just feels like an SEC guy to me. Gruden to me feels like he's an SEC guy. Gators, LSU, something, Auburn, something like that. Now, I don't know if Auburn is high enough profile for him. Auburn's one of those programs that, outside of some outlier years, they're really not in the same air as an LSU or a Florida, in my opinion. But I do feel like Gruden's an SEC. If he's going to go anywhere, I would love to see him go to Florida. I think that would be incredible. But would it be incredible if he went to Penn State? Yeah, and Gruden, listen, he's got roots in the Midwest. I know that. I know. So I could sort of see it. I just feel like now, because of the Tampa thing and where he lives now and kind of his lifestyle, the golfing lifestyle, everything like that, just feels like he's a Southern guy now, but his roots are from the Midwest. So, I mean, look, if Gruden goes to Penn State, that will be truly, truly something for that fan base to get behind and rally around. And, I want to see Penn State land somebody great because, again, the Big Ten is better when Penn State is winning 10, 11 games a year. And they're, when the three-headed monster, Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State are all up there. And now, the addition of Oregon. But that's another team that has a major identity crisis. That fan base has a major identity crisis, the Oregon fan. They're another team that thinks they're they're in the same tier as Alabama. And it's just crazy. But yeah, I would love to see him go there. I do think, though, at the end of the day, I'd be surprised. I do hope he comes back to coaching. I'd be happy to see him go anywhere.
Absolutely. By the way, you mentioned Ohio State. Everyone who follows you knows you're a big Ohio State guy, how locked in you are to that program. I got to know from you, has the team this year met your expectations or exceeded your expectations?
Far, far exceeded my expectations. I thought this team, now listen, beginning of the year, I thought a lot of things that are not coming to any sort of fruition. I thought Clemson was going to be a team to beat. I thought Clemson.
Everyone did.
I thought they could win the national title this year. I thought Penn State could play for a national title this year. So I had Ohio State pegged that Texas team. I thought Texas was primed with Arch coming back. So I had Ohio State losing, 3-4 games maybe this year, at least 2. I had Ohio State penciled for 2 losses because considering Penn State and considering Texas, I thought they'd lose 2 games at least. They are better than last year's team, in my opinion, and it took me a long time to try and come to terms with that and really make the finite statement. The defense is better. Just look at the numbers. I don't care. See, people are going to say, well, who'd you play? It doesn't matter when you're playing teams at this level in the Big Ten Conference. They're out of conference. They did schedule Texas, who, by the way, is firmly back in the mix of everything right now. When you're only allowing teams to score single digits on average every game, that's a remarkable stat. When I came into the season, I said, okay, there's 2 bona fide superstar players on this team. Caleb Downs, the safety, transfer from Alabama, as most people know. And of course, the household name that everybody knew was Jeremiah Smith, who's probably going to be a top 3 selection in the draft, depending on need in 2027. But now I could make an argument that there's 5 bona fide superstar players on this team. Arvell Reese, the linebacker, I think is the best linebacker in the country. Carnell Tate, I think you could make the argument that if Jeremiah Smith wasn't there and Jeremiah Smith didn't exist, let's take him out of college football. I think Carnell Tate's in the conversation to be the best receiver in college football himself. I really do. And then the emerging one is Julian Sayin. And Julian Sayin, what he has done is record-setting performance for efficiency and completion percentage. He's throwing 80%. He's completing 80% of his passes.
Yeah.
I mean, last week he threw more touchdowns than incompletions against a Penn State defense that, by the way, is not some kind of pushover, awful, terrible defense, the Penn State defense. He threw for four touchdowns, only 3 incompletions, over 300 yards. The offensive line is an experienced, deep group. The sky's if they could keep those 5 guys that I mentioned healthy through the playoff run, and they could just get a little bit out of the run game. They need to get a little bit out of the run game. Josh, I got to be honest, I don't know who I look at right now and say that they could beat that Ohio State team on a neutral field. I don't know who could do that. I don't know. And I'm not, that is not coming from the perspective of they're my team. I love them to death. Yes, that's all well and good and true. I'll be honest about them whenever I got to be honest about them. And I just don't see a team that can line up with them right now. People will say Indiana. I want, and that probably would be the team. So that Big Ten championship game, if that's the way it's going to go, is going to be one for the ages. So I'd like to see that game because I'd really like to see Indiana and them square off. I think that would be a great game.
Well, Indiana plays Penn State, and I think they're going to get trounced this weekend. But that's neither here nor there. But I've been a fan of you for quite a while now, and honestly, one of the funniest all-time stories I've ever heard was on the Brilliantly Dumb show where you guys had Adam Schefter on, and yes, he gave you a Shefty bomb that just ended up being a bomb in itself. Can you just give the listeners at home a bit of that story?
Yeah, I forget exactly. Honestly, it was Tyreek Hill. He told me that Tyreek Hill was not going to be named a captain. This was right before the start of the NFL season, I believe. And he gave me a report that Tyreek Hill, now this was during the time when all the stuff off the field was going on with Tyreek Hill and the dissension among him and Tua and what the hell was going on with that. And he told me basically on the Brilliant Dumb show that Hill was not going to be named a captain, and that was going to be like the first time since he had joined them. So, I tweeted it out, and then unbeknownst to me, as I'm tweeting it out, I'm getting all these replies that like, yeah, Mikey, thanks a lot. Like, Schefter just said this 5 minutes ago or whatever. So I don't think Schefter's internal clock timeline, because I did call him out on it. Like, I wasn't going to just let him skate on it. I did text him and I was like, dude, I'm getting murdered even worse now. I said, because now people are just saying that I'm just piggybacking all your stuff. And he's like, yeah, but you know what, Mikey, forget about him. He goes, just forget about him. He goes, you can't worry about that in this business. So Schefter, the one thing about Adam Schefter, man, this guy, I've texted him since. This guy remains locked in like an absolute robot. This guy lives, breathes, eats, sleeps football news, breaking news. That's all this man lives for. Obviously, besides family and stuff. I'm not saying anything like that, but he is locked in 24/7, 365. So, yeah, Shefty did me dirty. I'm going to have to get compensation on that. I think I will get compensated on that. I think he will make that right sooner rather than later.
Maybe he's listening to Hanging with Hennig and he hears this.
Could be. He gets his information from somewhere.
Or he's busy watching Michigan, and maybe that's
yeah, that'll be interesting too. That'll be interesting. Those Wolverines are hanging around. They're hanging around.
Absolutely. Mikey V, the brilliantly dumb show, of course, at Bear Down Cuz on Instagram. Mikey, before we let you go, why don't you go ahead and plug all your stuff?
Yeah, if you follow me on all socials, Bear Down Cuz, you can catch me on Triple Option Podcast, weekly segment with Mark Ingram of the Triple Option Podcast. We give a pick of the week every week for college football. You could follow if you like sports betting, if you like workouts, exclusive content. I also do that for my subscription service that's available on Patreon. Just look for my name, and also available right on Instagram. Just click that subscribe button. Come and join the Only Subs. Have a little fun with the boys betting every week, and I appreciate you fellas for having me on. It was a blast. Thanks, guys.
Well, I appreciate you jumping on. Mikey V joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. And that's the first hour of Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Great conversation with Mikey V. You can watch the full video over on my YouTube channel at Josh Hennig. And, you know, Alex, I think one of the things that he said that was very, very interesting was, guess what? He thinks, kind of agrees about the John Gruden thing.
I don't know how you can agree, honestly. Like, Gruden is just good for football. Football is better when John Gruden is in the landscape. And as my Nittany Lions are about to tie this game, bring him to Happy Valley, please.
Coming up on the other side, we will hear from Boxing Insider Promotions Larry Goldberg about last night's big fight, Tropicana Atlantic City, as well as tomorrow's big amateur boxing event with the Atlantic City Pal. Josh Hennig, Alex Berardis. We're hanging out with you on 97.3 ESPN, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
College Football Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's a critical Big Ten showdown.
Touchdown! What a play for Oregon!
Both 4-1 in the Big Ten. 9th-ranked Oregon and 20th-ranked Iowa go head-to-head in Iowa City. And a showdown with playoff implications. 9th-ranked Oregon at number 20 Iowa. Kickoff at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
It's College Football Saturday on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 3:30. Brought to you by
First Bank of Sea Isle.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and foods. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
Black Friday is happening now at the Home Depot, which means it's time to get your home ready for all your holiday moments and traditions. Right now, you can bring home holiday magic with our wide assortment of dazzling pre-lit trees under $99. Spend more time creating memories and less time assembling with Quick Connect technology that makes it easy to set up your new tree in a few clicks. Wow! Hurry in for Black Friday happening now at the Home Depot.
Having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day? We all have one from time to time, but there are simple actions we can take to instantly boost our mood. Let's explore a few. Text or call an old friend. Reconnecting can lift our spirits. Watch something funny on TV or online. Laughter is a powerful mood booster. Give someone a compliment or do something nice for someone. That always makes us feel good. Take a few deep, intentional breaths. Inhale, hold, and exhale slowly. It helps to calm our nervous system. Go for a walk outdoors. Nature and physical activity are great stress reducers. Finally, turn up the tunes. Nothing like an upbeat melody to make us feel better. I'm Robin Stoloff for Health Update.
It's ACUA's 35th Holiday Food Drive. Leave a clearly marked bag of canned goods by your recycling can on Collection Day during the first 2 weeks of December, and the ACUA will deliver it to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Visit acua.com/food drive for details.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month. And ask about a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase.
I just paid hundreds for this flight, and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe. That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Are you ready to sell your home? Call Dave Beach. He makes sure his clients receive the very best in service. Dave Beach at RE/MAX Community is your trusted local expert. Fast closings, top offers, and service just like your family. 609-685-4942. Online at soldbydavebeach.com.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels at Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, clemicperformancemethod.com.
South Jersey's official play-by-play home of the Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers.
At 0 point would I ever consider not being a fan of the team.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Hour 2, Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig alongside Alex Berardis here in the 97.3 ESPN studios. But about 14 hours ago is where I was leaving Tropicana Atlantic City, Alex, for the massive fight night last night. If you folks did not get to go out to the fights last night, you missed out. And I'm not just saying that because our next guest is Larry Goldberg from Boxing Insider Promotions. It's because this is now the 6th pro card that Larry has put on inside the Tropicana Atlantic City showroom. And I am not joking when I said it just gets better each and every week. And you got to see 5 different South Jersey boxers win. Last night, you got to see in a crazy match between Angeloni and Diaz. I mean, that fight was absolutely nuts. And you got to see Otto Whalen go out there, dominate. So it was just a great night for boxing, a great night for South Jersey. And there's another great event coming up tomorrow, and that's why Larry Goldberg is joining us right now here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Larry, first of all, congratulations on an incredible night last night. You really outdid yourself. How you doing today?
I've had zero sleep, and I'm back here at the Tropicana. And it was, I appreciate the words you had just said about the card. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, I thought this was our best card to date. We've never done 10 fights before. And, you know, everybody left very happy. We had a mixture of blue chip prospects, local stars, and I think it played out exactly as I told you it would.
Yeah, because you were telling me for weeks, and then you said it on the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, that you said this is one of those nights that you do not want to miss, and it was definitely not missed. And before we get to tomorrow's Atlantic City PAL event, I did want to ask you about last night because, you know, it was something that all the fighters talked to me about here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. When I had Leah Lewandowski, when I had Josh Popper on, and Justin Figueroa and Bruce Sullivan Jr., they all talked about and acknowledged how cool and how big of a moment this was to have 5 different South Jersey fighters all on the same card. And as someone who himself is from South Jersey, has there been a point in the last 10 hours, shall I say, that you kind of look around and you're like, wow, we really pulled that off?
Well, so first of all, Josh, I'd like my branding to be correctly. I'm from Margate, the mean streets of Margate. Just have to put that out there. Look, we went out to scout the best fighters from around here. When I first came to town, the first person that I got put in touch with was Justin Figueroa. This will be his 5th time fighting on a Boxing Insider card. We've all become very good friends. And this being a small world, I was introduced to Justin originally by Otto, who I knew from our days at Mendez Boxing. Bruce Sullivan came on our second show, and we've been using him since. Julio Sanchez goes pro on our show in March. We've used him since. This was Leah Lewandowski's first fight, and like I said, I was very excited to get to feature Josh Popper. Josh Popper from Summers Point, New Jersey. Yep. He's a stud. He is absolutely the real deal. He's, we're looking to bring him back when we come back, and he looked tremendous. And this was exactly what we wanted to do, which was highlight the local talent, the best local talent, make this a home show for us. Not necessarily, we're not like a Philly promoter who's just going to come into town and bring one of these guys on because they can sell an extra 50, 75 tickets because these guys don't have any local fighters on the card. We wanted to make this a local show. And and then on top of that, we had 3 or 4 fighters who you will see on the national stage. Otto Wallen will be back on the national stage very soon. O'Connor will be on the national stage very soon. I mean, his amateur credentials are ridiculous. Yeah. Joel Angeloni will be on the national stage very soon. His amateur credentials are also ridiculous. And then the Lugo brothers. So I could not be more proud of the product that we were able to put out last night. And then just to finish it up, which was to have the community involvement where, we're donating the room. I rented it out a second night. And basically all the money on tomorrow will go to the Atlantic City Police Athletic League. Last night the community really came out to support us. Mayor Marty Small came out and watched a few fights with us. The Tropicana showroom was packed. And like I said, everybody left happy. Justin defended a legitimate title last night. And, this is just the beginning.
Larry Goldberg from Boxing Insider Promotions joining us right here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. That's part of the reason why I have you on, Larry, because I wanted to hit on tomorrow's event because this is the second time you are hosting one of these with the Atlantic City Police Athletic League. Talk about the event tomorrow and kind of how folks can get involved with it.
So when I was getting my boxing promoter's license last year, before I even had Tropicana booked, nor did we even meet with them, I was just putzing around the New Jersey website, and I stumbled upon a page that was written during the pandemic. That was a grant that Commissioner Larry Hazard wrote, and it was involving 4 of the PALs. It was Patterson, it was Newark, there was another one, and it was Atlantic City. And I said, interesting. And part of it was they would get $65,000 from the state if they had a boxing program that did X, Y, and Z. And at the end of the year, it would culminate with an amateur show. So just by luck, the year before, I was in town, and Ray McCline from the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame had posted about the PAL show. And I said, you know what? I just got in my car, and I drove to the PAL, and, I went to the show. I'm like, this was great. And so when we had the opportunity, when we came into town, the first thing I did was give a lot of tickets to the PAL. And then I said, well, we should do an amateur show, and we should do it at the casino. So we did that at the casino last year. I rent the room. It's already set up from boxing the other night. There was no fights. Tropicana is dark tonight with a room, so they leave the ring set up. Tomorrow morning, instead of it going through Ticketmaster, we printed out about 1,000 tickets that will retail for $30 to $40. The Atlantic City Police Athletic League takes 100% of the money. We've donated the room. We've donated the belts. And the Atlantic City PAL with Arnold Robbins, who is also Justin Figueroa's coach, is doing all the matches. There are between 12 and 15 matches that are going to be on the card tomorrow. And this is going to be, like I said, some of the best young kids. And 100% of the money goes to the Atlantic City Police Athletic League. And it will also qualify them for the state grants that I just spoke of.
That's absolutely awesome. And again, 100% of the proceeds go to them. This is not you pocketing, a bunch of money for yourself or anything. And that's why
I wouldn't want to touch that money. This is a community affairs thing. And when I came to the market, I had told you, and I had told a few other people off air, that look, I'm not like the other promoters. I'm not, and I don't mean that in the sense that I'm trying to diss anybody or we're better than anybody. Because look, if you didn't live in Atlantic City, you wouldn't care about some of the stuff in Atlantic City. If you were just a Philadelphia promoter, booking a show, trying to sell some tickets, then we'll see you again in a year. Well, what do you care about, doing some of this stuff other than just try to get a little bit of goodwill to sell your fight? This had nothing to do with this. The fight is over. We'll be back in March. But, I wanted to be the community involvement, and this is that. And, this is 100% for the community. And I was very sincere when I said that I wanted to bring boxing back. And to bring boxing back, that means not just the pros, not just the stuff that, we all can go to, but the amateurs, the family-friendly stuff, the fact that this saves so many kids from a life of violence in the street, the fact that we give an opportunity for, inner-city kids from Atlantic City to come and get a chance to put on the headgear and put on the gloves and fight in the same venue, that Justin Figueroa and Otto Wallen just fought on. This event changes lives for people and the people associated with them that fight on this event. And it really became a feel-good moment. And I was more proud of doing the Atlantic City Police Athletic League show than, quite frankly, I am of, what we've accomplished on the pro stuff.
Again, it's tomorrow. 1 p.m. is the start time. $40 for adults, $30 for youth. All 100% of proceeds benefit the Atlantic City Police Athletic League. Tropicana showroom in Atlantic City tomorrow, 1 p.m. Listen, there's no Eagles game tomorrow. The Sixers play at 7:30. You have no sports conflicts tomorrow. You just go out, support the community. Again, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Tropicana showroom in Atlantic City. The second annual Battle at the Beach amateur boxing fundraiser presented by Larry Goldberg of Boxing Insider Promotions. Larry, again, great job last night. I'm so excited that you're doing this again this year for the Atlantic City PAL. Keep up the great work, and hopefully next week you can get some sleep.
Sleep is overrated. I just wanted to finish this out by saying, I want to thank who once again lived up to Atlantic City. The charisma. This kid has, the charm. This kid has to go all the way, and not just boxing, but in life. And And now add in Josh Popper, add in Bruce Seldon, who's grown so much as a fighter since we first featured him. Julio Sanchez has grown so much as a fighter. His dad, Julio Sanchez, who runs the Pleasantville Recreation Center, should be so proud of his son and so proud of the work that they've done this year. And it's very heartwarming. I know boxing is supposed to be a violent sport, but there's a lot of beauty in it, and we can have a lot of beauty that, again, is very, very locally South Jersey based. I can sit here and talk about some of the international guys, but this is South Jersey. We've got the kid from Pleasantville, the kid from Atlantic City, the kid from Somers Point, and these are really local kid does well stories.
Absolutely. Larry, again, keep up the great work. We'll talk soon.
Josh, thank you very much for having me on.
Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis live in the 97.3 ESPN studios. Again, don't forget, it's tomorrow, the second annual Battle at the Beach live amateur boxing fundraiser. 1 p.m. start, 15 amateur bouts are scheduled, $40 for adults, $30 for youth, and all proceeds go to benefit the Atlantic City Police Athletic League. And, of course, it is right on the heels of a great night last night, the 6th event that Boxing Insider Promotions, 6th professional boxing card that they have put on. Great night last night, Alex, and now they're doing something for the community tomorrow. So we had to get Larry on here to talk about that, Alex.
Larry, like when he says bringing it back, my parents, they worked in Atlantic City, used to work in Atlantic City for like 30 plus years, and one of the big things they always said was how many just main event, big time boxing fights took place in Atlantic City back in the day. Mm-hmm. And we haven't really had that for a while now. Larry's trying to bring it back. He is bringing it back. And it's just doing nothing but good things for the city. And you can't be more grateful than what he's doing right now.
And the cool thing about last night was, because he mentioned about Justin Figueroa with the NABF belt, that is the first time that an Atlantic City fighter has had a belt of any sort, Alex, of any legitimate belt on their waist, fighting in the city with the belt on their person in a ring in basically 13, 14 years. Shimon Alvarez was the last one. So it kind of goes to show you that, this is more than just, hey, we got a couple of fighters in the card. These are legitimate fighters. These are up and coming stars. I've been telling people, I think that the way Bruce Seldon Jr. and Leah Lewandowski both endured their fights, it's going to make them better fighters, right? He mentioned Julio Sanchez III, the fact that he went out there, had a mediocre first round, then dominated the second round. You saw Josh Popper, Josh Popper's story is nuts. We had him on last week, remember, Alex, here on Hanging with Hennig, where he was like, oh, I really love basketball. And you're like, basketball? And then he's like, oh, well, I was a Holy Spirit, so I played football. Then he plays football at Rowan. They win a conference championship for Rowan football in D3. He tries to play in the NFL. Had a cup of coffee. Then becomes a personal trainer. Then he ends up becoming a professional boxer. And then he goes back for a homecoming fight last night. And he looked great last night. He looked like the real deal last night in that ring. And so it's just a great moment for Atlantic City, to your point, Alex, to see this kind of vibe, this kind of energy back in the building.
Yeah, this ain't no YouTube boxing kind of vibe anymore. It's on the come up. These guys are legit guys and girls. They're both legit fighters who can hurt you, and they're perfecting their craft, and they're putting on a show for the fans to enjoy.
Let's check in on the text board right now, 609-403-0973. We started the show talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. Talk some college football in the last hour. I want to get to a couple texts on that front before we get to Andy McNamara. He will join us coming up in less than 10 minutes from now for our weekly fantasy football conversation. Steve from Ventnor chimes in and says, Michael Carter will be on the field in 5 to 6 DB packages. In those situations, you can see Cooper DeJean pop out to the outside. If Alexander brings something to the defense, they may not have to use Coop outside at all. I think that's a big point that he makes there. And that's where, to your point, Alex, in the last hour, where the low risk, high reward comment that Howie Roseman made, it's the idea that if Alexander can give you anything good, it allows them to keep using DeJean where they want to, which is, for those who didn't watch DeJean in college at Iowa, he was basically what we call the joker position, where he was all over the field. He would play safety, nickel corner, outside corner, linebacker at times. I think Fangio looks at him as more of a defensive weapon than a position, and putting him at outside corner limits what they can do with him. So if Alexander can go out there and give you anything, it makes everything different for the Eagles, Alex.
Just makes, voice crack there. Just makes the team better, though. Like, yeah, DeJean, they obviously want him in his set spot because he's one of the top premier players at that position. But he, like as you said, at his time in Iowa, he is just skilled enough to where if you have to, you can put him on the outside. You can match him up. If you want to put him at linebacker, I mean, we got a pretty good set there, but you can. But, yeah, the moves that Howie have made allows Vic Fangio and this Eagles defense to be able to throw some different schemes if you want to, some different looks that can confuse an offense where Jordan Love can be under center and just not realize what's coming his way, and that's just going to do nothing but benefit this team.
Another text coming in at 609-403-0973 based on our conversation we had with Mikey V in the last hour. Again, Bear Down Cuz on Instagram, and of course the Brilliantly Dumb Show, which it's kind of a misnomer, the name of the show. It's actually not Brilliantly Dumb. It's more funny of a name than anything else. I think it's kind of misleading what the show is if you listen to it, right, Alex?
Honestly, like if you're looking for an hour of just pure class and comedy, check it out.
So, but based on our conversation, Glenn from Absecon chimes in at 609-403-0970. Says, pump the brakes on John Gruden. He is overrated. He took the Tony Dungy team to the Super Bowl and won, but it was all downhill after that from a coaching perspective. He's been a very average coach for a long time. We're talking about a guy who is more known for his Chucky persona than being a good football coach. So I'm going to push back on Glenn for this reason. Glenn, you're not understanding the why Penn State needs Gruden. They're not hiring Gruden to coach. You need John Gruden, the celebrity. You need John Gruden, the personality. You need the John Gruden who's going to go to the boosters, who's going to go out on recruiting trips, who's going to hire the best coaches. Gruden knows more people than anyone basically in football. Gruden's going to be able to be basically a CEO coach at Penn State and basically be like, I'm the face of the program. I'm going to let my coaches do their job. And listen, you may think that he's an average coach, but there's something to be said for the fact that some of the best years that guys like, and when I name these guys, people might roll their eyes, but hear me out. Bruce Gradkowski, Brad Johnson, Jeff Garcia, Derek Carr. None of those guys are going to even sniff the Hall of Fame. Like those guys are probably allergic to the gold jacket. That's how average of quarterbacks they are. But they all had their best years with John Gruden as their coach. So I think he's a little more than an average coach. Now, if you want to argue that he might not be great at personnel, fine. If you want to argue that he's a little overrated, sure. But Penn State's not hiring John Gruden to be a coach. They would hire Gruden, Alex, to be the face of a program and to push that program in a direction with the kind of people to take it from James Franklin to beyond.
I think the one thing that he would have to do, because Franklin has done all those things, great recruiter, goes on these visits, pulls guys in, gets guys committed to the team. He gets guys to buy in. There's no doubt about that about James Franklin. But he has never been able to develop, and he has also never been able to find a good coordinator on either side of the ball. Shown right now with Andy Koltanecki. He got brought in from Kansas, was lighting it up at Kansas. For whatever reason, he comes to Happy Valley, and he's stinking up the joint. Gruden needs to be able to pull those kind of guys in. Yeah, obviously he's going to be the celebrity, going to get the boosters in, but I don't think Penn State really has a problem with that because they probably have top 5 in NIL being able to spend. But, yeah, his overall record as a head coach isn't great, but yeah, he just needs to be the guy who can bring in good enough coordinators to be able to produce well on the field.
He's Alex Berardis. I'm Josh Hennig, hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, as always being sponsored by yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora, with the sound on for every Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers game, along with having the biggest college football games on the TVs every Saturday, whether it's in the indoor bar or the back deck. You do not want to miss out on everything Yesterday's has to offer, including nightly food specials starting at 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, along with happy hour specials, 9 p.m. to close each week. And they have a huge giveaway tomorrow. Monday night. So for Monday Night Football, if you go out to Yesterday's to watch the Eagles-Packers game, you have the opportunity to win a Jalen Carter jersey. But you must be at Yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmore for Monday Night Football. Watch the game, call your friends, tell them to meet you at the Y. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern, proud sponsors of Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Speaking of football, coming up next, it's Fantasy Football Conversation with Andy McNamara, Alex Berardis, Josh Hennig. This is Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM. Streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch Virtual Studio.
It's Sixers Raptor tonight on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the Sixers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Quick Grimes in traffic, spins, keeps it, drives, left-hand layup, good. What a remarkable play by Grimes.
It's Sixers Raptor tonight. Coverage begins at 7:30. It's Sixers basketball all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia 76ers basketball.
Are you kidding me? He rocks the rim with a right-hand jam.
97.3 ESPN.
Get ready to level up your game day at Tropicana Atlantic City. Introducing Gridiron Pit, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, a high-energy fan zone where blackjack meets big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, indulge in tailgate-inspired food and drinks, and spin the big wheel of prizes. Every Saturday and Sunday throughout football season, Gridiron Pit, where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table. Located near the cashier cage, learn more at Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase.
I just paid hundreds for this flight, and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe. That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Go for holiday bliss. Whether naughty or nice, you are not going to want to miss this. Go for nights that shine with friends, a toast so fine. Go to find Santa's place. Go to see that smiling face. Go to give the gift of cheer with the card that brings dreams near. With endless fun and things to do, it is the gift that keeps on giving too. Go for the dazzling lights, it's quite a sight. Go to Ocean Casino Resort for holiday magic of every sort.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Gill from the Sports Bash. You know, I've been telling you about my friends over at the Nizam's Restaurant. Well, don't forget, their Eagles special is back. You get a free order of spicy tandoori chicken wings for dine-in customers when the Eagles win. They also have a great lunch buffet on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and has a great banquet space that can seat up to 100 people for private events and celebrations. So what are you waiting for? Try out the Nizam's in Harbor Square, Egg Harbor Township, right outside of Boscov's.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
For over 135 years, First Bank of Sea Isle City has proudly served Cape May County with a commitment to maintaining a hometown feel. We provide secure, convenient deposit and loan products every day. We're more than just a bank. We're a trusted community partner, offering personalized banking solutions that make life easier for local families of all ages. First Bank of Sea Isle City. Look for our lighthouse in your neighborhood and discover what makes us different.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I want my picks back. I want David Putnam.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
All my picks back, and I want David Putnam just because I feel like it.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah, I am. Haven't I proved that already?
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis live in the 97.3 ESPN studios. We'll get to Andy McNamara in just a moment. Don't forget about one of the great sponsors of Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, Work of Art Construction, making your home look brand new. That's what Art Masker does. With his 40 years of experience in the construction industry, he knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck, invest in a new front door, have a kitchen makeover, or remodel your bathroom? Call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more about how Work of Art can make your home look brand new. Mention you heard about them on 97.3 ESPN's Hanging with Hennig and find out how you can save 10% off your next home remodeling job with Work of Art Construction. Call them at 609-788-4271 to get your exclusive 10% off the work when you mention 97.3 ESPN. Make your home look like truly a work of art with Art Masker's Work of Art Construction. 609-788-4271 and give them a follow on Instagram at Work of Art Construction NJ. Right now, Andy McNamara is back for more fantasy football talk on 97.3 ESPN. Andy, welcome in. How you doing today?
Doing good, guys. Doing good. How's everybody?
Listen, I'm glad you're here with the energy because I'm probably on my 10th wind at this point with the limited sleep. So you're here to help us out, not just with the fantasy football talk, obviously. Andy, talk to us a little bit. First of all, I want to start with this because what is the team that's on a bye week this week? Because we're in that bye week season, right? The rotating bye weeks. Is there a team on a bye week that you're seeing like the most people fretting about they don't have their players right now?
Let me just pull up, make sure I got all the right teams here that are on the bye week. I know we got the Bengals. Yep. So we got Bengals, Cowboys, Titans, Chiefs. A lot. Jamar Chase. Yep. Even Joe Flacco in the streaming pools. Right? T. Higgins. How about the Cowboys? CeeDee Lamb, Javonte Williams, he's been an absolute gem. I got him in 2 or 3 of my leagues as just an afterthought. Like I put my main focus this year. This is what I went on heavy in, and it's mixed results to say the least. I went with 2 rookies. I said I'm going to go all in for Gente and Hampton for the Chargers. Well, Hampton's butt's on the IR. Gente got 15 fantasy points the other night. It's fine. And then the other one, for depth, Javonte Williams. Okay. He's been the best one. It's been crazy. So we're missing him. Titans, the only one is like kind of Pollard. And then the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, little bit Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice type of thing. So, the main ones that we're concerned about is trying to replace the Bengals and Cowboys players.
So what are some good replacements? Because the pickets are slim, man. I mean, especially at quarterback. If you're someone who picked up Flacco as like a, hey, I need a quarterback because Kyler Murray is injured, or I need a quarterback because Joe Burrow is injured. Like, now the guy you picked up to cover for those guys, or maybe you were one of those people who was like, I thought Trevor Lawrence would be better, right? Or Michael Penix would be better. Like, now what are you doing?
Well, it's quite tricky. Funny enough, I would say out of the scrap heap, your best play is Jacoby Brissett. Wild to say, but that's where we're at. Jacoby Brissett, 3 straight games, including a bye week put in there, over 21 fantasy points, just under 20, and just under 25 in 3 straight weeks versus now coming up against Seattle. Good defense in Seattle, of course, right? But Jacoby Brissett's cooking. And he's still only rostered in 18% of leagues. So if you have quarterback trouble, why not? Jacoby's hot. Pop him in. Next one would be Marcus Mariota, Jane Daniels, toast. With his legs, we can run. Justin Fields, not this week against the Browns, but overall, with his legs again, can be quite dynamic. The thing to watch for Fields, and people are like, oh, the Browns stink. Correct. However, they are not stinky in the defensive side. And I will remind you this. I think Justin Fields is going to see ghost specters of Myles Garrett all around him because in his rookie season, I was at this game in Cleveland when he was with the Bears. Myles Garrett sacked him 4.5 times. Myles Garrett's got his bib on for Justin Fields.
I actually am picking the under in that game, to be honest, because of what you just said. Like, I think between the Jets trading away half their team and the fact that, look, let's be realistic. As long as Dylan Gabriel is still starting at quarterback, I have no expectations for it. Like, Andy, I finally bit the bullet. I finally dropped Jerry Jeudy in one of my leagues. Like, I was hanging on to him. And I had Harold Fanning Jr. on a watch list, and I've completely given up.
Now, I would go with Harold Fanning Jr. I would stick with him. PPR specifically, there is going to be value there. Now, here's the only wrinkle, and maybe only hope, and maybe it's only a one-off, or maybe it's a none-off. The Browns have changed play callers for the 2nd year in a row. Kevin Stefanski has given over play calling duties to rookie 33-year-old Tommy Rees, who called plays with Notre Dame and Alabama under Nick Saban and Brian Kelly for a little bit. So last year when they did this with Ken Dorsey, the offense actually got worse. The Browns are averaging 13.9 points per game. So if it gets worse than that, I don't know. There's one chance. Tommy Rees has said before he wants to air the ball out more. It's a cross your fingers, Hail Mary that Jerry Jeudy maybe can pop. And I would put one note on this. From a betting standpoint, anytime touchdown on David Njoku. He was going off this week, how happy and thrilled he was to be in Cleveland still. Hennig Jr. is taking over the main tight end duties pass catching. I think the Chiefs got one in them, though.
Andy, an interesting situation down in Jacksonville right now. So Travis Hunter put on IR. I don't think we were really expecting it to be that long term. And then the trade deadline comes. Jacoby Myers shipped from Vegas over to Jacksonville. And then also out this week, Brian Thomas Jr. against DeMeco Ryans and the Houston Texans. That defense, no joke.
Yeah.
What does that outlook look like for Trevor Lawrence, for Brian Thomas Jr., and now, I mean, honestly, for Jacoby Myers?
So here's what's very interesting. Brian Thomas Jr. ruled out this week. So he is out. Now, what does that mean? Jacoby Myers' first week in an offense. Is he eased in? Is he thrown in because of need? One of my top waiver wire ads this week is Parker Washington. This guy's quietly been popping. He's getting you nice mid-teen fantasy production for a few weeks now. Parker Washington. Now, when Brian Thomas Jr. comes back and Jacoby Myers gets incorporated in, does that change? Maybe, maybe not. But Parker Washington, I think, is going to be a big beneficiary. I'd be a little skittish on Jacoby Myers. You might not have a choice if you're in bye week trouble, but Parker Washington is my top ad and play for Jacksonville this week. And I think, too, Travis Etienne Jr., sneaking a little bit back into that low-end RB2 conversation where he was wiped out. He might have more fantasy relevance than people are giving him credit for.
Andy McNamara joins us for the fantasy football conversation on Hanging with Hennig. Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis here in the 97.3 ESPN studios. As always, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. You just mentioned, guys, about the Jags, and that game between the Jags and the Texans might be like fantasy football hell because
poison.
I mean, it's 37.5 is the over-under. So it's like, some of these games this weekend, Andy, that's the other side of the coin for fantasy football. Like, you got teams on buys, and then you have teams in these horrible matchups. We saw a 10-7 game on Thursday Night Football. Like, it was one of those deals where it was like someone needed to pray over the Broncos and for them to score more points. Like, it looked like they were going to lose that game. So, like, when you see some of these close matchups like the Jags and the Texans, is there a part of you that says run away as fast as you can, or are you saying hope for the best and just play a guy like a Nick Chubb?
Well, so these type of games lend itself more to PPR situations. If you're in standard, sprint away. Because if they are, like Parker Washington could catch 7 balls, right? And get you, X number, and maybe pop over 10, maybe gets a touchdown, to do that. It's not exciting. Again, it goes to what are your alternatives, right? Do you have a choice to go somewhere else? Or do we go with my old saying of opportunity equals success in fantasy football? Better to have the top target on a bad team than a third string guy on a team where it could go in a whole bunch of different directions, like a Green Bay, for example. Matthew Golden may play, may not. Is it Christian Watson? Dubs, where are we going? What does Luke Musgrave do at tight end with Tucker Kraft? There's too many options. In Jacksonville, I feel pretty confident this week. It's Parker Washington. We'll see what Jacoby Myers, and that's why I'm liking some Travis Etienne as well. But overall, Josh, man, it's like, be prepared. You might have to get risky, right? That risk reward of, okay, maybe you'll get me 9 points, so I'm going to have to take a bit of a swing in my flex where I normally wouldn't want to.
A few guys who kind of look enticing, as always, are the guys in the Atlanta Falcons offense. But the Falcons are such a boom or bust squad, I feel like.
What a team.
And, yeah, these past 2 weeks, just getting worked, honestly. I mean, last week it was a close game against the Patriots, but guys like Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Michael Penix Jr., you just never know what you're going to get. It's so frustrating. As a Bijan owner myself, it's so frustrating. When he pops, But when that Falcons offense just gets quiet, it is real quiet. What's up with them?
Yeah, I'm totally with you. That's kind of it's a boom or bust team. Like, I'm looking at Drake London right now. Last week, 3 touchdowns. Holy cow. 2 weeks ago when he played, 8.2 fantasy points, 4 catches for 42 yards. Week before, a touchdown, 158 yards. And then the bye, 110. And then 2 weeks before that, he was single digits. So, you got to play him, I guess, but you have all that inconsistency. Michael Penix Jr., great bounce back game, fantasy-wise. You got to play the stars, right? Bijan, I would feel most comfortable with. Error on the side of just, you put him in, and, he should. Guys like Drake London, I'm getting a bit more confidence in Drake London with those big efforts, and obviously he is a focus where in prior years he wasn't so much. Kyle Pitts, man, I feel like I've been waiting for Kyle Pitts for half a decade, right? Like, come on. He's giving me nothing. He's got, 1 touchdown this year. He's had some decent PPR scenarios where he's finishing low to mid-teens. But last week, 4 catches. What am I going to be getting? I'm not interested in Kyle Pitts if I have another choice, right? If I don't, maybe I got to roll Kyle Pitts.
Couple more for Andy McNamara, of course, at AndyMC81 on the X platform, at AndyMC Sports on Instagram, the Sick Podcast. Like, subscribe, download wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. Andy, you mentioned Michael Penix, and you and I have about a lot of conversations on 97.3 ESPN over the years about quarterbacks, right? Mm-hmm. And not just because you're a Browns fan and you have some of the most infamous ones, or because we're Eagles country and we've had the most random backups win games here in Philadelphia. But it's also the fact that we were having this conversation this week, me and Mike Gill, on the Sports Bash, about how, we're getting to the point in football where, I don't know how to judge quarterbacks anymore because, I can't say everyone sucks because look at Sam Darnold. Look at Baker Mayfield. In one place, they look horrible. Daniel Jones, another one. How these guys go from a bad place to a good place. I don't know if Michael Penix stinks. If you put Michael Penix with Kevin O'Connell or Ben Johnson, he might look great. And if you put Jaden Daniels in Atlanta, he may look horrible. So, I just keep wondering, are we going to get to a point in football because there's so few transcendent quarterbacks? There's so few, the Mahomes, the Burrows.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a select number. Even Josh Allen was frankly not a good quarterback until he got Brian Dable and Joe Brady up there in Buffalo. So, are we getting to the point where we need to stop evaluating the quarterback and start evaluating who the coaches are?
It's a great question. I think it depends on experience coming out of college, right? Josh Allen, a little raw. And look at an Anthony Richardson, right? All the tools in the world. Is he going to be the next one? I'm sure Colts are going to let him go next year. Is he the next one? Raw, all the physical traits in the world, busted out. Or is he going to be like a Trey Lance who just it didn't work out, right? It is, the quarterback position is so important of where you land. It is. And it's, you can almost tell, right? If the Browns draft a quarterback, it's well, hope you like your college career, pal. That's all you got, right? Or, Dylan Gabriel, good. Don't get me started. But, with the Bears before, you got Ben Johnson there. Caleb Williams is not good. Now you go back. It almost seems like you need these quarterbacks to land in the sprinkle spots of magic, right? Minnesota, San Francisco, Ben Johnson, right? And those type of areas to get that whatever they do. Daniel Jones was on the practice squad and he pops off in Indianapolis. Steichen now is another one, right? So it really depends. And for fantasy football purposes, it's okay, where do we look to draft high at quarterback? And it's becoming more and more of a case where if you don't land one of those, let's say, top 5 fantasy guys, you can wait. You can wait and get a Dak Prescott and he'll pop and do well. You can wait and get a Trevor Lawrence or and build up your team elsewhere. So it's really that strategy going into next year. Where are you scouting these quarterbacks, and especially rookie QBs? Man, that's a case where outside you'll get your Jane Daniels, you'll get your CJ Stroud year one. It's a case where I don't want to necessarily play a rookie quarterback if it's in a bad situation. And now, guys, we got to watch too. Good quarterbacks as rookies going into year 2. Jane Daniels, injury, but CJ Stroud as well. There's so much that goes into it, and with the landing spot.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting to the point where you're starting to wonder, if you're not playing for basically 8 coaches, you're basically doomed as a quarterback. It's getting to that point. It's absolutely nuts. He is Andy McNamara at AndyMC81 on the X platform, Andy MC Sports. And I cannot wait for 10 a.m. tomorrow for the Sick Podcast, because the day has finally come. The Browns and Andy McNamara have been vanquished from the evil Paul D. Podesta in Cleveland. I know Andy McNamara is going to have an amazing monologue about it at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Brother, you got it, man. And up now on my socials at Andy MC Sports, at Andy on Instagram, at Andy MC81 on X. I put out a rant reaction of joy that the grifter, Paul D. Podesta. Hey, Colorado Rocky fans, good luck. Thanks. Thanks. Goodbye. Hey, who would have the record, real quick, 56-99-1. That was Paul D. Podesta's record in orchestration as chief strategy officer with the Browns. 56-99-1. That bum left before 100 to have on his record. Absolutely disgusting. The strategy of doom. They are no better off than when this guy took over. Our next life, we should pray to fail as richly as Paul D. Podesta. No one fails and earns more than Paul D. Podesta. What a guy. Good on him. Good on him. Make money, bro.
People forget he failed with the Dodgers, too. It's not like it was just the Browns.
And the Oakland A's were losers. Did they win the World Series with Moneyball? I've never seen a movie made about losers where the end isn't like, oh, remember the Titans, they overcame. The Oakland A's lost. And then say, but rich teams picked up his strategy. So you still lost, Paul D. Podesta. Unbelievable. Now you got me fired up. I'm ready to go. 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. I'm going to have more of that. And then we're going to have fantasy football start. Since you jump in the chat, hashtag Ask Andy, and have the ultimate betting ticket. It'll be a lot of fun. 10 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, The Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara.
Andy, always appreciate it. Take care, my friend.
See you guys. Bye.
It's always good to hear from Andy McNamara. Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis here in the 97.3 ESPN studios. Don't forget, Hanging with Hennig being brought to you by the Caesars Sportsbook. It's the only sportsbook app offering you Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using my promo code Radio20X. Place your first bet of $1 or more for your chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings, $2,500 per bet. Profit boost. Tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Coming up next, why are the Flyers losing 2-0 right now? Alex Berardis has a theory. We'll vet that theory coming up next on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN.
Ryan Radke here from Sunday Night Football on Westwood One. Coming up from Southern California, it's a marquee matchup of quarterbacks when Justin Herbert and the Chargers welcome in Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Both are looking to build on wins last week. The Chargers come in with a record of 6-3. The Steelers, meanwhile, at 5-3. Mike Golick and I have the call for you from Los Angeles on Sunday Night Football.
Listen to Sunday Night Football. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. on 97.3 ESPN.
This football season, catch every game at the best sports bar in South Jersey. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora features every Eagles game with the sound on, along with the biggest college football games on their TVs every Saturday. Don't miss out on yesterday's nightly food special starting at 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, along with reverse happy hour specials 9 p.m. to close each week. Plus, with the Flyers and Sixers season starting up, the place to be to watch the game is yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. So call your friends and catch all the games at the Y.
Listen up. The soap you shower with? It's you probably haven't even questioned what bar of soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. I'm talking about natural, nourishing, cold-pressed, hand-cut soap for men. Men who use their hands. Men who build things. Men who catch foul balls without spilling their beer. You won't just smell good either. Your skin will be healthier and more nourished. We make our soaps with natural ingredients from the earth. Ingredients like oils, plants, goat's milk, Greek yogurt, oatmeal, shea butter, and citrus. Turn your shower game up to 11. Get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive.
Hey, this is Josh Hennig. Go to my social media and click my exclusive Dr. Squatch link for your chance to save $10 off your next order of great natural soap, deodorant, and much more. Only with Dr. Squatch.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Go for holiday bliss. Whether naughty or nice, you are not going to want to miss this. Go for nights that shine with friends a toast so fine. Go to find Santa's place. Go to see that smiling face. Go to give the gift of cheer with the card that brings dreams near. With endless fun and things to do, it is the gift that keeps on giving too. Go for the dazzling lights, it's quite a sight. Go to Ocean Casino Resort for holiday magic of every sort.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Black Friday savings are here at the Home Depot, which means it's time to add new cordless power to your collection. Right now, when you buy a select battery kit from one of our top brands like Ryobi or Milwaukee, you'll get a select tool from that same brand for free. Click into one of our best deals of the season and stock up on tools for all your upcoming projects. Get Black Friday savings happening now at the Home Depot. Limit 1 per transaction. Exclusions apply. Full eligible tool list in-store and online.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Warm up this fall with an incredible seafood boil. Try the Uncle George with succulent snow crabs, tasty mussels, and shrimp. There's the Pete's Feast with 2 pounds of sweet succulent crab legs, a dozen shrimp, clams, and a pound of mussels. Or create your own boil. Add a lobster tail or a delicious Dungeness cluster. Include smoked sausage, corn, and potatoes, served in our tasty broth, made with white wine and our signature seasonings. A shellfish lover's dream at Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your world champion Philadelphia Eagles. Go where the players go. Come join us all season for Eagles pep rallies, watch parties, and the best in-game experience anywhere. Ice-cold draft beer, world-famous food, and fan-friendly fun for every Eagles game. Every Monday night in South Philly, the Jordan Mailata Show, presented by Miller Lite, followed by Chicky and Pete's Players Lounge with a current player, hosted by Ike Reese and Hugh Douglas. Go where the players go. Chickies and Pete's.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
People will come, Ray.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
People will most definitely come.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis live at the 97.3 ESPN studios. Now, while we're going on, the Flyers are playing on our sister station, Rock 104.1. We got the game going on in the studio. Flyers currently losing 2-0 after the first period. But, Alex, you have some information about this game. And I find this very fascinating because, coming into today, the Flyers have won a couple games in a row. They've been looking pretty good. They kind of found their footing right. And now they're down 2-0. And you say there's a specific reason why.
So as much praise as we've given Howie Roseman in this episode today,
yes,
I got some problems with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Philadelphia Phillies. And you might be saying to yourself, Alex, how on earth are the Philadelphia Phillies and the Philadelphia Eagles connected to the Ottawa Senators and versus the Philadelphia Flyers in any way today?
Yeah, I need more explanation here.
So I'm scrolling Instagram last night, and all of a sudden that Ottawa Senators Instagram page just pops up on the field at Lincoln Financial Field. And I see in the background on the Jumbotron at the link, welcome 2025 Ottawa Senators Father's Trip. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Why are we helping these guys out? I do a little bit more swiping. They're on the field at the bank. I do a little bit more swiping. In the Eagles locker room, pictures holding both of our Lombardi trophies. Josh, I am not a happy man about this. What on earth are the Eagles doing letting the Ottawa Senators hold our Lombardi trophies, posing for pictures for Instagram the day before they play the Flyers? What are we doing?
See, that's the part of the story where I jump in and I say you're 100% right. You can't let them touch the trophies. You can't let them near the trophies. If you want to give them a tour of the ballpark, I don't care. You want to give them a tour of the city, I don't care. Want to take them into the Rocky Steps, the Liberty Bell, that's fine, right? But not the trophy. You don't let them near the memorabilia. I think you got a good point here. I think that the good vibes of those Lombardi trophies rubbed off on the Senators, and now they're whooping us.
I got a picture of Lars Eller, former Penguin, by the way, former Washington Capital, by the way, Metropolitan player, double fisting both of our trophies.
No, that's poor.
No. What is going on here? And now they're smoking us. They got the Lombardi bump, and now Rick Tocchet and those poor Saints out on the ice right now got to deal with it because they're holding our Lombardi trophies.
I think they should bring the Lombardi trophies into the Flyers locker room to help them out.
Go play in the CFL.
CFL. They have the Grey Cup up there.
Yeah, go hold that cup then. Don't touch my Lombardi. Worked hard for that.
We'll keep you up to the end of the Flyers game as we go along. They're down 2-0 after the first period. And according to Alex, it's only going to get worse.
Well, the second period, notoriously the Flyers' worst period.
Right.
It's just horrible hockey in the second period. And that first period, if it goes worse than that, oh boy.
Coming up, We got some more Eagles talk as well as some Phillies talk to get to. Keep your text coming in at 609-403-0973. We are live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Coming up at 2:25, Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press, NFL Insider, will join us to get more into the Eagles as well. Hour 3 coming up next on 97.3 ESPN. Hanging with Hennig, Josh Hennig, Alex Berardis.
Sunday morning in the locker room with Billy Schwein, producer Alex Berardis, and former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Dave Klemick join me in the studio. We will preview the Eagles-Packers Monday night matchup and get the keys to the game with Fox 29 News sports anchor Scott Grayson, brought to you by Blitz's Market. Hour 2, we'll hear from the head football coach at Rowan University, Pat Ruley. Then my fantasy football guru Brian Hartley checks in, brought to you by Charlie's Bar. It's the locker room with Billy Schwein, Sunday morning from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and food. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
Imagine being the wizard of your own home. With Xfinity, intelligent self-healing Wi-Fi fixes problems like magic. It boostifies speeds to your devices when you need it most, and makes your favorite Wicked content sparklify on every screen. All while a spell of protection helps keep your family safe online. When you're out in Oz, Xfinity Mobile joins Wi-Fi and 5G to keep your phone connected from here to the Emerald City. If you had the most intelligent Wi-Fi from Xfinity, everything would work together for good. And now you can cast a spell to stop time and keep your internet bill steady for 5 whole years with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. No contracts or commitments with amazifying equipment included. Xfinity, imagine that. And see Wicked for good, only in theaters November 21st. Restrictions apply, select plans only. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet.
Black Friday is happening now at the Home Depot, which means it's time to get your home ready for all your holiday moments and traditions.
Hi.
Hey. Right now, you can bring home holiday magic with our wide assortment of dazzling pre-lit trees under $99. Spend more time creating memories and less time assembling with Quick Connect technology that makes it easy to set up your new tree in a few clicks.
Wow.
Hurry in for Black Friday happening now at the Home Depot.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Warm up this fall with an incredible seafood boil. Try the Uncle George with succulent snow crabs, tasty mussels, and shrimp. There's the Pete's Feast with 2 pounds of sweet succulent crab legs, a dozen shrimp, clams, and a pound of mussels. Or create your own boil. Add a lobster tail or a delicious Dungeness cluster. Include smoked sausage, corn, and potatoes, served in our tasty broth, made with white wine and our signature seasonings. A shellfish lover's dream at Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your world champion Philadelphia Eagles. Go where the players go. Come join us all season for Eagles pep rallies, watch parties, and the best in-game experience anywhere. Ice cold draft beer, world famous food, and fan-friendly fun for every Eagles game. Every Monday night in South Philly, the Jordan Mailata Show, presented by Miller Lite, followed by Chicky and Pete's Players Lounge with a current player hosted by Ike Reese and Hugh Douglas. Go where the players go. Chickies and Pete's.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They've got him! It's a sack!
Sixers.
Oh, baby!
And Flyers.
He scored!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone!
Josh Hennig.
Yep, still here, still in the studio, 973 ESPN. Still running on little sleep. Alex Berardis joining me here. Hour 3. Text board is open at 609-403-0973. Rob Maaddi, AP Senior NFL Insider, will join us coming up in about 20-some minutes from now. Keep you updated on the Flyers. They start the second period down 2-0. Eagles return from the bye week. What are the Eagles coming off the bye week? How much do we believe in them? How much do we... what I think is interesting, Alex, is that we were having this debate this week about, how much of help or hurt, right, does having that bye week involve? And, it kind of goes to show you, we mentioned early in the first hour, we'll kind of bring it up here again. What makes Howie Roseman great is that Howie Roseman says, my team is not good enough, and now we got to make it better, right? And I wish the other GMs had that type of initiative. And again, I'm not saying that Dave Dombrowski or Daryl Morey or Danny Briere are bums, okay? I do think Danny Briere is doing his very best to rebuild the Flyers. I do think Daryl Morey has done a very good job at drafting for the Sixers. And I don't think Dave Dombrowski is just sitting on his hands doing nothing. But there is a sense of urgency from the Eagles, VP of Football Operations, the general manager, Howie Roseman, that the other executives don't seem to have at times. And it's what makes me frustrated with the Phillies right now, because you and I already had this conversation before the show. Alex Berardis joining me here on 97.3 ESPN. We were talking before the show about what the Phillies need to do, because we were listening to Billy Schweim in the locker room, 10 a.m. to noon, 97.3 ESPN, Saturday and Sunday mornings. And him and Nick Earnshaw are talking about what the Phillies need to do this offseason. And I turned to you, Alex, and I said, well, you have to bring Kyle Schwarber back, right? Because if you don't, you better make the decision quickly, because you don't want to be left out in the cold. And that's my concern. And that's what I hate about the baseball offseason. While football, basketball, and hockey seem to have deals done before they're allowed to, baseball just kind of like takes their good old time to make a decision. And then you have guys in free agency through Thanksgiving and through Christmas and through every single holiday. And then it's spring training's here. We got to sign people. I hate the way the baseball offseason is set up. I want some urgency. I want Dombrowski on the phone making demands. I want him drawing lines in the sand. I want him saying, I want Kyle Schwarber here for this number of this day, and if you give me the decision by Thanksgiving, I'm moving on to Pete Alonso. I'm so worried, Alex, that the Phillies are going to slow play this offseason, that by the time they get a straight answer on Schwarber and Suarez and these other guys, that there'll be nobody left.
Well, the guy who's out there right now who kind of has to be used with a little bit of urgency if the Phillies go down this direction is Munetaka Murakami, star third baseman out of Japan, because it's with how his situation works, right? If he doesn't get picked up in 45 days, he's no longer eligible or something, right? Correct? Yeah. So if that's the direction they're going to go into, moving Alec Boehm, try to bring him in, that's someone who you're going to have to use a little bit more urgency with. Going to the Kyle Schwarber thing, I think Kyle Schwarber right now has the Phillies, I'm not going to say it, but he's got him by the you-know-what right now. He can kind of dictate the number he wants, the year he wants, whatever he wants. Because like you said, if the Phillies kind of slow play this, especially if Pete Alonso gets picked up, you have to bring back Schwarber. There is no other option but to bring Schwarber back, because then there's just no replacement.
Mm-hmm.
But a guy that I brought up to you in our pre-show conversation was a guy who I'm really not hearing a lot of chatter about when it comes to the Phillies. What about Cody Bellinger to that outfield? Especially now that we're, Nick Castellanos hiring himself an agent, looking to get Dell out of Philly, because I think we all can come to terms with, finally it's over, that relationship with the Phillies and Nick Castellanos. Harrison Bader declines his player option. I think that was honestly a smart move by him. He can definitely get a lot more money, whether by the Phillies or another team, out on the open market. But a guy like Cody Bellinger could fill him in the right field. He hit .272 last year, 29 homers, 98 RBIs.
In New York, by the way.
But Philly's also a hitter's ballpark.
No. What I'm saying is that he did it at a big market.
Oh, big market.
That the fact that everywhere he's been, like the problem with Castellanos was he played for the Tigers and the Reds, right? Bellinger played for the Yankees.
I thought you were taking at it as, because when everyone says like Judge, he's playing for the Yankees, he's got that short.
Oh no, I didn't mean like that. I meant the environment.
Yeah. And he's also played in LA too, Cody Bellinger. He's played in Chicago as well. Cody, honestly, it just sounds like Philly's the last stop he needs to check off when it comes to these big market teams. But
he could retire a Red Sox.
Yeah, honestly. I love Cody Bellinger. Like, I think he's a sneaky guy who can come in, give you 25 jacks like he did last year. But another problem I think these Phillies have, which was talked about in the locker room, was JT Realmuto and that whole dispute.
Well, I think that's where, let me get the Bellinger part first, because I don't want to escape from that. I don't mind Bellinger if you're telling me that you're replacing Schwarber, right? If you're like, if Schwarber leaves and you need to bring in another left-handed bat, I don't want to see this team go psycho left-handed heavy again, because at some point you got to get Justin Crawford up here, and he bats left-handed, and you're already going to have an outfield that is projected to be, if everything goes as we hope, right? If everything goes as we hope, the outfield next year is going to be Crawford, Bader, Marsh. And unless you're getting rid of Marsh, you need to make sure that Bellinger is replacing another left-handed bat. Now, to the whole point about, now again, I think your Bellinger point is very fair. I think that he is definitely a guy, former league MVP. He's been a multiple-time Silver Slugger, underrated defensive outfielder. I like the idea. If you were telling me the outfield next year is Crawford, Bader, and Bellinger, I'm good with it, but then what do you do with Marsh, right? So I think that it's like, I'm yes, but when it comes to some of these left-handed bats. The JT Realmuto thing is fascinating to me because you and I talked to Frank Close a month ago, and Frank Close brought up the idea of Adley Rutschman. And, Rutschman is a guy that I think needs a new environment. I think he is the poster child of a guy that absolutely needs to find a new home, because it's obvious that playing for the dumpster fire organization that is the Orioles is like drained his soul. Because when he first came up to the majors, those first 2 years, he was like, this is the next great catcher. He's a stud, top 10 MVP voting, all-star. And then the last 2 years, he has completely faded and fallen off the planet. And I just got to think that if you maybe get him out of the dumpster fire, the hellhole that is the Baltimore Orioles, and get into a real baseball organization like Philadelphia, that's the move. And that's where, to me, the Alec Boehm conversation comes in. To me, I'm Dave Dombrowski. I'm not waiting. I would be on the phone with the Orioles every single day and be like, how do I get this guy? How do I get this guy? How do I get this guy? Because, as you pointed out, if JT Realmuto leaves, you are DOA to start next year, because there's no way anyone in their right mind, Alex, can be like, you know what's a good idea? Let's start the year with Rafael Marchand and Garrett Stubbs. Get excited. No.
Well, I do know someone. Now, you can argue whether he's in his right mind or not, but Billy Schweim is actually in favor of the Rafael Marchand idea. But
doesn't mean it's a good idea.
Yeah, no, not at all. But I do think the only option you have if you're not getting JT Realmuto is the Adley Rutschman deal. Now, hey, whether that's Frank Close coming on here, hanging with Hennig, just spitballing ideas, and there's actually no truth or any traction to where that could come to a reality, that could be fair. But if that is a reality where that could happen, I see no world where that shouldn't be entertained by Dave Dombrowski.
And by the way, there is a scenario where you bring back Real Muto and trade for Rushman, because you could say, hey, JT, you're going to be a part-time catcher. You're going to be a part-time DH. If you lose Schwarber, you can still bring JT back and maybe have him as part of this team. Now again, depending on what JT feels about himself. I don't know what his market's going to be. He is, what is JT? I got to look up. He's got to be, 34, 35 at this point?
He also seems, maybe I'm just saying this from a biased standpoint.
He turns 35 next year.
But
I was right there.
He seems like the guy who'd take a hometown discount, right?
He does, and that's why I'm not anti JT Realmuto. I'm anti just throwing money at old guys for the sake of throwing money. Like, you made the comment to me before about the Schwarber contract. Like, what is a realistic way to go about it? Is it 4 years? Is it 5 years? I would say if I was the Phillies, right? And Kyle Schwarber and his people came to me and is like, look, we're willing to do a 4-year deal if it's a certain number. I'm willing to have that conversation. But if you're insisting on it being a 5-year deal, I'm out, man. I'm out.
Yeah, I've been pretty adamant on here about I'm just not willing to give him that deal. But also, if you are bringing Kyle Schwarber back to this team to start the 2026 season, that can't be the big move of the offseason.
Right.
Bringing in Kyle Schwarber, bringing him back. If you're going to add in trades with Alec Boehm, Nick Castellanos, that's not good enough for me.
Yeah, like, for example, and I'm just using this. I'm not saying this is what Kyle Schwarber's going to get. This is just Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN spitballing numbers. If you were to tell me that Kyle Schwarber signed a 3-year, $150 million deal, right? 3 years, $150, get your big money. 3 years from now, you're a free agent again. I'm not against that idea, but you're 100% right, Alex. That can't be the only move. You got to still go out and address the catching position, the bullpen. You got to address getting another legitimate right-handed bat in here. You have to have a conversation about, is Alec Boehm part of the future of this team? By the way, we know a name we haven't mentioned. Is Bryson Stott a part of the future of this team? Has there been anyone more disappointing than Bryson Stott the last 2 years?
I'm still a believer in Stott. Maybe it's just because I'm in love with his glove. Wow, a little bust of rhymes there. But but I still think
Touché.
Yeah, he can bounce back. I'm a believer in Bryson Stott. I'm an Alec Boehm guy, but I'm out on the Alec Boehm experience. But going back to the Cody Bellinger thing. If you're going to bring in Kyle Schwarber again, you can't bring in Bellinger.
Well, you can under this circumstance, really quick. If you have another hitter in the lineup who gets swapped from left to right. So, for example, again, I'm going to go back to the formation. If your outfield is Crawford, Bader, Bellinger, right? Well, then Marsh has to be replaced. Like, if you're replacing Marsh with Bellinger, for example, like, it's an even swap. Or if you're in a situation where you say, we're going to replace Bryson Stott and we're going to bring in a guy who bats, like, for example, you call up Aiden Miller, right? And Aiden Miller is a right-handed bat. Now you offset the extra lefty in the lineup. Does that make sense?
Yes. My point was being that if you're going to bring in Bellinger, this is my hopeful. I want Bellinger. I'm going to be very clear on that. I just want Bellinger. Whether they have any connection or not, I do not know. But I think if Bellinger comes in, that's where the Alonso factor comes into play because of that right-handed, left-handed batter swing or like lineup setting thing. You could put any way you want to put it, Alonso, Harper, Bellinger in that some sort of 3 combination there.
Well, if you bring in Alonso, he's batting behind Harper.
And with the Yankees, Bellinger was top of the order, I feel like most.
Like, you could argue that the lineup, okay, if I had my perfect Phillies lineup, if I was in control of the Phillies offseason, which is not going to happen because John Middleton and Dave Dombrowski seem to have a little bromance going on, my opening day lineup would be this, Alex. Trey Turner leading off. Bellinger at number 2. Harper 3. Alonso 4. Bregman 5. Then I would have probably Adley Rutschman 6. Harrison Bader 7. Bryson Stott 8. Justin Crawford 9.
That sounds amazing. I just don't know how that all
it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
this is a pipe dream I have.
Because that's what I was going to actually ask you. If Bohm gets moved, hypothetically, we're going to move him. Maybe it's for the Adley Rutschman deal.
Right.
Who fills in
Bregman.
at third?
I want Bregman so bad. I think you need a guy like Bregman, who's a multiple-time World Series champion, a vested veteran, a guy who is as reliable can be, that just come in this locker room and, like, purge the Nick Castellanos vibes. Like, bring in a guy who's, like, hyper-professional, hyper-responsible, all about winning. Like, I want that kind of guy in my locker room.
Well, then that just comes down to Phillies ownership, John Middleton, being able to just put their big boy pants on. Not that he hasn't already, because he's throwing around a lot of money for this lineup. But then if that's going to happen, which it should happen, like that is a quality lineup that I just can't really see falling flat in the playoffs. But I couldn't see any of these other lineups in that. But then you're just going to have to do what the Dodgers did. Spend that dough.
Well, that's where Cole from LBI chimes in on the text board at 609-403-0973. He says, I don't think Steve Cohen's going to let Pete Alonso leave New York and become a Philadelphia Philly unless Pete doesn't want to give the Mets a chance at all. And I think Cole from LBI brings a great point that if Steve Cohen is willing to throw the bank at Pete Alonso, he ain't going anywhere. I don't think Pete Alonso wants to leave the Mets, but I think that he might be forced to. So it really comes down to, are the Mets really willing to dig in and not give Alonso the money, or are they going to capitulate and give him the money? Because they've already given Soto and Lindor a ton of money, right? And so if they're just going to spend like crazy, yeah, maybe Alonso stays there. But Cole from LBI is right. It all comes down to the Mets owner, whether Pete Alonso hits full free agency or not.
So then are you okay if it just turns out to be a 1-for-1 trade pretty much, Schwarber to the Mets, Alonso to the Phillies? Because the only reason I'm okay with it, as much as it would hurt me watching Schwarber walking into the bank with that Mets uniform on, is if we add those other pieces that we've been talking about.
If you tell me that the type of lineup that I set out there was the lineup next year, I'm good with it.
Yeah, but all right, Flowers just scored. Matvey Michkov just scored.
Yeah.
Where was I going with this? Thanks, Matvey.
No, the point is that if you walk in the next year, you lose Schwarber, you replace him with Alonso. You get rid of Castellanos, you bring in a guy like a Bellinger, right? You trade an Alec Bohm for an Adley Rutschman, you bring in a Bregman. Those are the kind of moves that make you feel like, as a Phillies fan, hey, now we got a chance to undo what's happened the last 2 years.
And then there's still guys in the pipeline coming up, which that was the whole thing with the whole 2009-2010 team, where once that core was out, it was out. It was doom and gloom in Philadelphia for the Phillies. But I think if you can get these deals done, and that's the other thing with the Schwarber contract, if you give him a 5-year deal, we're going to have bag of bones at every position once 2030 comes.
Right.
Especially if JT Realmuto, what did Nuggets say? Nuggets said he's expecting that 3-4 year deal.
The word out there is it's probably going to be a 4-year deal.
Like, you're really putting us in a tough spot here, JT. I think Adley's got to be the play. I'm sold now. Adley's the play.
We'll check out more text board a little bit later in the hour. 609-403-0973. Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis live in the 97.3 ESPN studios. Don't forget about my friends over at Tropicana Atlantic City, the Gridiron Pit. Powered by Caesars Sportsbook, a high-energy fan zone where blackjack makes big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, and indulge in tailgate-inspired food and drinks. And spin the big wheel of prizes every Saturday and Sunday throughout the football season. The Gridiron Pit, where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table, located in the cashier's cage. Learn more on Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. We'll be back there, Tropicana, Atlantic City. Myself and Mike Carlin. November 22nd is our next show at Tropicana, Atlantic City. But coming up next, more football talk. We'll get back to it with Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press. State of the Eagles coming off of the bye week. 3 trades before the deadline. We'll ask Rob Maaddi all about it next. Josh Hennig, Alex Berardis on 97.3 ESPN. Streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
College Football Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's a critical Big Ten showdown.
Touchdown! What a play for Oregon!
Both 4-1 in the Big Ten. 9th-ranked Oregon and 20th-ranked Iowa go head-to-head in Iowa City. And a showdown with playoff implications. 9th-ranked Oregon at number 20 Iowa. Kickoff at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
It's College Football Saturday on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 3:30. Brought to you by
First Bank of Sea Isle. Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
This football season, catch every game at the best sports bar in South Jersey. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora features every Eagles game with the sound on, along with the biggest college football games on their TVs every Saturday. Don't miss out on yesterday's nightly food specials starting at 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, along with reverse happy hour specials 9 p.m. to close each week. Plus, with the Flyers and Sixers season starting up, the place to be to watch the game is yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. So call your friends and catch all the games at the Y.
The holidays are here, full of joy, family, friends, and yes, a little hustle and bustle. That's why you need Aleve. Between cooking, shopping, and all those extra errands, aches and pains can sneak in. Aleve is here to help with long-lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
Bush, the iconic band. One night, all their classics. Featuring songs from their hot new album, I Beat Loneliness, as well as all of the fan favorites. Saturday, December 13th, Ovation Hall in Ocean Casino Resort. Special guest, Soul Asylum. Bush. Tickets on sale now at theoceanac.com. Don't miss Bush. Live.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest-growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
With Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to 40% off, plus up to an extra $1,000 off select appliances like LG, America's most reliable line of appliances. Check out the newest LG refrigerator with new mini craft ice straight from the dispenser. Shop Black Friday savings on select LG appliances plus get free delivery now at the Home Depot. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $396 or more. Offer valid 11/5 through 12/3, U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month and ask about a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Hey, you know what? There's another name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Who? Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis live here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. And I want to remind everybody, do not forget about the Mike Seafood Valentine's Day Run Walk for Autism, Saturday, February 14th on the Boardwalk in Sea Isle City. Register by going to polarbearrunwalkforautism.com because any day you can do something for children with disabilities. It is a good day. We are there every year with 97.3 ESPN. We always love supporting Mike's Seafood Run Walk for Autism. And this year, it's on Valentine's Day, Saturday, February 14th. You can run or walk to support the Polar Bear Run Walk for Autism. Sign up today at polarbearrunwalkforautism.com. And I know Mike from Mike's Seafood is a massive Eagles fan, so let's get back to the football conversation here. Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press, he joins us right now on 97.3 ESPN. Rob, welcome in. How you doing today?
What's going on, Josh? I'm looking forward to that run walk since it'll be Valentine's Day, and that means the football season will be over.
Well, I'm sure it's been a very busy trade deadline and beyond for you. And that's kind of where I wanted to start because, there's been a lot of conversation about who and what the Eagles are after the deadline. And we were saying before you came on, Rob, about how Howard Roseman deserves a lot of credit for being a guy who says, hey, I'm going to go and be proactive to deal with the roster flaws that I might have thought I had covered coming into the year, but now I realize that I need to rectify them. So I think that the Eagles did a great job at the deadline, and in some ways you could argue Howie Roseman is playing chess while the rest of the league's playing backgammon.
Yeah, I gave them I had to do winners and losers, which I hate doing, like the day of the trade deadline, and I gave the Eagles, even though they didn't make any moves that day, but everything leading into it, the three moves, I made them my winners. I really thought that they didn't give up much. Now, the third-round pick for Jalen Phillips that's considered high, but also if you don't sign him, you get a compensation pick that's not that far off. So I thought they did a great job in what they were able to accomplish. I think Michael Carter can step in there and help them out at the slot position, slot nickel, slot cornerback, and that could allow Cooper DeJean to play outside a little bit more. But obviously, if Jair Alexander can get back to his old form, that would be a tremendous addition. He can go outside. So you got some upside there. I don't know how much Jair's got left, but it's worth taking a shot. And then, of course, Jalen Phillips is a guy that they really needed to upgrade at edge rusher. Now, BG's coming back. We don't know what BG's going to be able to bring to the table, not having played the whole first half of the season and not having worked out and practiced with the team. Working out on your own is different. So I think BG will be on a pitch count when he's out there, obviously in passing situations. But what the Eagles did to me was kind of like you're saying, it's Howie Roseman always being ahead and always being the guy who's not afraid to make moves. He's aggressive. I look around at some of the teams who are sitting in first place, and they couldn't They didn't do anything. Like, you can't afford to trade a 7th-round pick for somebody who could help you. The Buccaneers, for example, are one. The Chiefs didn't do anything, and the Chiefs are a team that's sitting at 5-4, certainly needed some help. You would think Breece Hall was available. I'm not sure what the Jets were trying to get for him, but you look around, the Bills had salary cap issues. They weren't able to make any deals. The Patriots didn't make any deals to bring anybody in. And here's the Eagles going out there and making 3 moves that can potentially upgrade this team and can help them get to where they want to be. And that's number 1 seed, get back to the Super Bowl and compete for a back-to-back title. And you got to give kudos and credit to Howie Roseman for getting it done. And we'll see how it plays out.
And that's where I wanted to give you this, because I don't know if you had a chance to really dig deep into Howie Roseman's press conference the other day, Rob, but he made this comment. I felt this comment stood out to me more than anything else, because he talked about, he was asked in the press conference about, hey, you acquired 2 different defensive backs, Jair Alexander, Michael Carter, and Howie's explanation for why they acquired them, Rob, really made me wonder, why don't more NFL teams have this perspective? Here's Howie Roseman from the other day after the trade deadline talking about the Eagles' acquisitions.
What we're really trying to do is we're trying to be able to match up with all kinds of shapes and sizes at the wide receiver position in the secondary. When you have guys who can do that, it just gives you so much flexibility. When you're going to play different teams and the different types of receivers they have, the different types of tight ends, even backs coming out of the backfield.
I mean, Rob, it almost sounds like a baseball team has saying, hey, they got a left-handed hitter up there, we're going to a left-handed pitcher kind of scenario.
Yeah, and I love it. I love that, man, because this schedule is daunting over the second half. Monday night in Green Bay is a tough game, and that's a statement game for the Packers, who haven't really done anything impressive since week 1 against Detroit. The Steelers was pretty good a couple of weeks ago, too. And then you're playing the Lions. They got the Bears. They got the Chargers on the road. They got the Bills on the road. If Jaden Daniels comes back, that should be a tougher game, 2 out of 3, 2 times against the same opponent in a 3-week span. So the schedule is going to be tougher down the stretch, and obviously once you get into the playoffs. So to have that kind of ability to where you can play matchups, to where if a team has a certain look, or maybe they go 2 tight ends, or maybe they have, like, for example, the Bills present one way. The Chiefs, if you get to see them again in the Super Bowl, they may look a different way. The Packers, the Lions got all kinds of weapons, and they come at you in various ways. So I think it's just great forward thinking from Howie. And then, of course, obviously, you didn't have to give up much in both of those deals for Carter and Jair Alexander. So why not bring in talented players who have accomplished a lot in the past, who've played at a high elite level, who potentially, in the right system with the right guys around them, can shine again. So great stuff out of Howie for sure.
Rob, when I'm Alex Berardis here, what I'm very interested in seeing this week and as the season progresses is this Eagles offense. Now, after that mini bye week they had after the Thursday Night Football collapse against the Giants, the offenses looked great against the Minnesota Vikings and then again against the New York Giants. But I'm having a little bit of fear here, like how the Phillies did last year when they went to London, were on fire leading up to that series against the Mets in London, went to London, and after that, it was just a mediocre team for the rest of the year. I'm starting to have little doubts that this could happen to the Eagles here. After this bye week, for some reason, I think they had the momentum going on offense in that little 2-week stretch. Now it seems like this bye week could be detrimental, or it could just turn this Eagles offense into what we saw last year, which was unstoppable. Where do you see Kevin Patullo and this offense looking like as this year goes on?
I think it'll be imperative that they come out against the Packers and start fast for all those reasons. After as hot as they were and as great as they played against the Vikings and the Giants, it's a little bit of a layoff. You almost wish that bye came after the Thursday night when they lost to the Giants, which would have been a really extended bye. But they were, even though some of the numbers against the Vikings for some of the guys, like Jalen Hurts' numbers were through the roof, weren't like terrific, but they were able to move the ball and moved it when they needed to and converted when they needed to. And then against the Giants, obviously, Hurts was great. The run game was fantastic, and you want to be able to carry that over. So I think they need to come out and start fast. I'm not as concerned that that bye week, though, is going to completely kill the momentum. I think what was happening is early in the season, you're still getting teams were adjusting. They're getting familiar with Kevin Patullo calling the game, a little bit of a different offense, a little bit of a different look. Some of the offensive linemen weren't in there, and the run game wasn't working as effectively early in the season. And I think they just started to get into a groove, started to click. And I feel like they can build off of that in the second half. This is a talented team with a lot of playmakers, and I don't think Saquon Barkley is the guy we saw in the first 6 games. He's the guy we saw against the Giants. He was close. There were so many plays that you would see earlier in the season that he was close to breaking one here, close to breaking one here, and then, of course, he did so against the Giants. I think A.J. Brown, even though I never thought he was going to be traded, I thought a lot of that was nonsense. I don't care what an opinion of an executive from another team is about a player on the Eagles, because all of that is absolute trash and garbage. But at least now you don't have to hear that for the next 9 games. You don't have to hear any rumors or speculation about anybody. He can settle in and continue to play great football. Same with Devontae Smith. They got a lot of weapons and a lot of playmakers, and I just think they're too good to be stagnant. They're too good and too talented to be inconsistent. And what we saw against in the second half against Minnesota and throughout the game against the Giants is more of what we're going to see. Now, of course, the Packers present a different challenge. You got Micah Parsons that you got to be concerned with, and even if he's not making the plays, you're double teaming, you're triple teaming him. So that's why I think Monday night's going to be a really statement game. I thought more so for the Packers. They need it more than the Eagles do, but it certainly doesn't hurt the Eagles' case.
Rob Maaddi, senior NFL writer and insider for the Associated Press at Rob Maaddi on the ScoreX platform, joining us here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Streaming live as always on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig. Rob, you mentioned kind of where I wanted to go with this next, which was the Green Bay game, because this Green Bay matchup is very interesting because a lot of people came into this year pointing to teams like the Packers, like the Rams, as threats to Philadelphia. And it's being overlooked, Rob, that Matt LaFleur and Sean McVay have never beaten Nick Sirianni. They have 0 records against Sirianni. And it's like, I get it. Like, Green Bay is a hard place to play, and I get it. You know, the Packers have a storied history, but it's like, why don't we talk about the fact that Sirianni is his record against a lot of these savant great coaches, Rob? He's whooping them.
He never gets the credit he deserves, Josh. He certainly doesn't. He won a Super Bowl last year, and still people don't put him in a top 5 conversation. I would never put LaFleur ahead of him. Nick's actually won and been to a Super Bowl twice. Matt LaFleur hasn't. He has 13-3 teams or 13-4, whatever it was, 13-win teams, and they would fail in the playoffs. They would absolutely choke with Aaron Rodgers. And Sean McVay, yes, he's won a Super Bowl, what's it now, 7 years ago? Yeah, 7 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever it was, 4 years ago. I can't do the math right now. But he's also, like you said, Sirianni's owned him too as well. And I think this is going to be a matchup where you're gonna come out of this game Tuesday morning going definitively like the Eagles are all the way back into Super Bowl contender status. And the Packers are still not there yet. They're still closer to wannabes. Or if it turns out the other way, there'll be a little bit more concern about the Eagles, and the Packers would have solidified themselves as, all right, despite their inconsistency, despite losing to the Browns and losing to the Panthers and letting the Bengals hang around and tying the Cowboys, this is a game they needed to win, and they came out and won it. So really excited to see Monday night. And I do have the Eagles winning, and I have them winning on a tush-push in the final minute because I think the over-under on tush-push has got to be 4.5 in this one. It just has to be.
Rob, you mentioned Saquon Barkley earlier, but tying in with that bye week that we just got off of right now, I think that bye week was so important just for the lineup, just to get healthy a bit. And as we mentioned, Saquon Barkley not having the best first half of the year, I think a big factor in that was just he just couldn't get past the line of scrimmage without getting a tackler on him. The Eagles' offensive line last year had so much depth and was so much healthier than it is this year. I think this bye week was so imperative that they just get their guys right and get healthy for the season to go on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I don't know if you have the numbers or someone may have them off the top of their head. It's kind of hard, but like the amount or the yardage that Saquon was able to get before initial contact last year was significantly higher than the yards he per carry before he gets hit any initial contact this year. And that just speaks to the holes in the line and how dominant they were last year and some of the issues and some of the struggles that they've had early on this season. I don't think, it's on Saquon Barkley. And obviously he was able to step up against the Giants and have a big game. Tank Bigsby had a big game against the Giants. So,
by the way, Rob, really quick. So it's 3.8 yards per attempt before contact last year. This year it's 1.7.
Think about that. 3.8 yards before contact last year. Like, that's a decent average back in the day when you used to have guys rushing for 1,000 yards, and you'd be like, 3.8 yards a carry. You get to them 3 times, you're going to get a first down. Like, that was tremendous. And what is it now? 1.7
yards per attempt before contact.
Man, so he's going 1.7 before. Yeah, that's a 2-yard difference, and that makes it a big. Obviously, it changes things up, and that's why his numbers are down. And hopefully they can build off the success they had against the Giants. So everybody's running against New York, but I think if they can carry some of that over, they're going to be in good shape. And it's crazy how everybody wants to start anointing someone else as the team to beat, whereas they're the champions. They have not shown any reason why they should be on the downside. They're building up, and it's how you finish. It's not how you start the season anyway.
Rob, before we let you go, because you mentioned about the team to beat, I did write an article this week at 973ESP.com kind of evaluating the other top teams in the NFC. I want to know your perspective between the Packers, the Lions, the Rams, the Seahawks, the Bucs, and the 49ers. Which of those 6 teams do you think is the biggest threat to the Eagles winning the NFC again this season?
Man, that's a tough question, Josh, because I think it varies week to week. Like, if the Packers go out there and win Monday night, you'll say, well, it's definitely Green Bay. I would have said Tampa Bay earlier in the season, but the Eagles handled them in Tampa, but they've always seemed to have their number, and it's just kind of a team that you don't want to play. I don't think the Buccaneers are top 4 in the NFC. It's just matchups and how things play out. Seattle, to me, is a team that's really intriguing. The way Sam Darnold's playing, outside of the final 2 games he played last year, the final one in the regular season and then the playoff game, he's been amazing. He's been incredible, and now he's doing it with a different team. They got another weapon, Rashid Shaheed, this week for him. Their defense is strong and stout. I'd be concerned with Seattle. I think the Lions will know more in 2 weeks when they come to Philly. They can be dynamic, and they can be sometimes disappointing or concerning. So right now, the 49ers, they're 6-3. They're so beat up and banged up, like losing Fred Warner and Nick Bosa on defense and not replacing them at the trade deadline, I think at some point is going to catch up to them. So I don't even know if they end up making the playoffs, let alone being a challenger for the Eagles. And then the Rams. The Rams look like a team, too, and they gave the Eagles trouble last year in the playoffs, remember, and should have beat them this year if not for that block kick at the end of the game. So I think the Rams are certainly a team. For me, the Rams and Seattle, I'd probably go 1-2, and I would flip it to whoever wins that division.
He's Rob Maaddi. Give him a follow on the X platform at Rob Maaddi for all of his NFL coverage. Also, check out Faith of the Field, heard every Saturday and Sunday morning right here on 97.3 ESPN. By the way, Rob, you got 2 guests on this week. Tyler Biadasz of Washington, and was it Matthew Butler from the Dolphins?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And, appreciate it, man. You guys keep up the great work. and Faith on the Field's been we're doing some new things coming up soon. So excited about that.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Rob, have a great weekend. Talk soon.
You too, guys. Take care.
Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. We got one more segment to go. Before we get there, I want to let you know about one of my great sponsors of the show here on 97.3 ESPN, and that is Work of Art Construction. Ready to remodel your bathroom, get a kitchen makeover, or get a brand new deck out back? Call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more about how Work of Art can beautify your home. If you give Art Masker a call at 609-788-4271 and tell him you heard about him on 97.3 ESPN, you will receive 10% off the work you have done to make your home look brand new. Give Art Masker a call, 609-788-4271. Save 10% off when you mention 97.3 ESPN and let them make your home look like a work of art with Art Masker's Work of Art Construction here in South Jersey. Coming up, we'll wrap up Hanging with Hennig, Josh Hennig, Alex Berardis here on 97.3 ESPN FM, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
Eagles football on 97.3 ESPN. The Eagles continue the 2025 season on Monday Night Football, heading to Lambeau Field to face the Green Bay Packers.
Love lines them up. Back goes Love. He's looking. He has time. He fires, and it's intercepted by Bourne.
Pre-game coverage starts at 7 p.m. with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick calling all the action starting at 8:15. This is where the Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN.
Get ready to level up your game day at Tropicana Atlantic City. Introducing Gridiron Pit, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, a high-energy fan zone where blackjack meets big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, indulge in tailgate-inspired food and drinks, and spin the big wheel of prizes. Every Saturday and Sunday throughout football season, Gridiron Pit, where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table. Located near the cashier cage, learn more at Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels at Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, ClemicPerformanceMethod.com.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in New York, New Jersey. And our more than 280 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Bush, the iconic band. One night, all their classics. Featuring songs from their hot new album, I Beat Loneliness, as well as all of the fan favorites. Saturday, December 13th, Ovation Hall in Ocean Casino Resort. Special guest, Soul Asylum. Bush. Tickets on sale now at theoceanac.com. Don't miss Bush. Live.
With Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to 40% off, plus up to an extra $1,000 off select innovative appliances like GE Profile. Add a touch of ease to your holiday with the all-in-one combo to wash and dry your laundry in one machine. And refrigerators with built-in convenient features like the dual dispense autofill water pitcher. Shop Black Friday savings on select GE Profile appliances, plus get free delivery now at the Home Depot. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $396 or more. Offer valid 11/5 through 12/3. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Whoa!
Whoa. More fiber?
What?
Down here, buddy. It's me, your spoon. Constipation with belly pain still coming back?
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, but Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Looking to lower your energy bills and boost home comfort? South Jersey Gas has you covered with a no-cost in-home, whole-home energy assessment. Our energy expert will review your home's energy efficiency and provide a personalized report of energy-saving improvements. Plus, you may also receive energy-efficient upgrades like faucet aerators, smart power strips, and LED light bulbs at no cost to you. Don't wait to save money and energy. Schedule your whole-home energy assessment today at sjgsaveenergy.com or call 201-690-7897 today.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis here on 97.3 ESPN. Before we get out of here, and we are going to give our picks for the Eagles game because Eagles game Monday night. Merrill Reese, Mike Quick on the call here on 97.3 ESPN. Don't forget that you can watch the Eagles game this Monday night with my friends at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora for your opportunity to win a Jalen Carter jersey with the sound on for every Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers game. Yesterday's is the place to be, so call your friends and catch all the games at the Y. Monday night, Eagles, Packers, your opportunity to win a Jalen Carter jersey. So don't forget yesterday's Creekside Tavern, the official sports bar of Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. We will be there next Saturday, November 15th will be the next time we are at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. So go check them out Monday night for the Jalen Carter jersey, and we'll be there next weekend at yesterday's for the Eagles and the Lions. Alex, before we get out of here, your prediction for the Eagles game Monday night is
a big Birds win. I was coming into the season after the whole Micah Parsons thing. I was fearing the Packers. Then after I watch them, Jordan Love's not that great. I mean, yeah, cool. Josh Jacobs he's a nice guy, a good running back, I'd say, right? Yeah, but like we said earlier in the show, though, they don't have Devontae Adams like they used to have. Romeo Doubs doesn't scare me. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Zach Bond. These guys are going to feast. But also, who also is going to feast? It's that Eagles offense. A.J. Brown's going to have a huge day. Saquon Barkley's going to have a huge day. Jalen Hurts is going to have a huge day. 24-14 Birds. Stamp it.
I like it. So I do think the Eagles are going to win as well. I've kind of going back and forth about what my score would be. I tend to think that the Eagles are going to get out to a lead and just hold it. Like I feel like
a little bit of last year's game.
A little bit of last year, yeah, because I think that people forget the Packers' offense. They are without their best pass catcher, Tucker Kraft. They're very shorthanded on both sides of the ball, and the Packers' defense is built to play from ahead, not behind. So my score is a little similar to yours. I got the Eagles winning this game. I like the 24, but I'm going to go 24-10.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be 24-10. I think it's going to be a bit of a domination. Thanks to you, Alex Berardis, for joining me here in the studio. Thanks to Rob Maaddi, Mikey V, Andy McNamara, Larry Goldberg, and thanks to all of my sponsors, Tropicana Atlantic City, Cedar Sportsbook, yesterday's Creekside Tavern Marmora, Work of Art Construction, Prevail Nutrition. Check them out at prevailnutrition.club to sign up for your meal prep. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Sunday morning in the locker room with Billy Schwein, producer Alex Berardis, and former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Dave Klemick join me in the studio. We will preview the Eagles-Packers Monday night matchup and get the keys to the game with Fox 29 News sports anchor Scott Grayson, brought to you by Blitz's Market. Hour 2, we'll hear from the head football coach at Rowan University, Pat Ruley. Then my fantasy football guru Brian Hartley checks in, brought to you by Charlie's Bar. It's the locker room with Billy Schwein, Sunday morning from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN.